All right, we're here. Mic's on. We're all good. How's everybody? Just trying to figure some things out. Particularly go Alfredino. Boo! But Alfredino's a good guy. He's a good guy. A lot of friends in ODM. Should be a good day. As NC will try and take him on. NC is a clan I'm a part of. I don't usually wear the clan tag on like Steam or anything because my name is already super long. But part of the night crew. Just a bunch of lads. A lot of friends on that roster. When Cool Umbrella made the clan, I was like, can I come hang out with you guys? And he said, sure. It's the boys. Oh, the late night gamers mostly. Apparently the 2v2 of today has to go first. We have 14 games, but there's one 2v2. And the 2v2, I believe, is worth 2 points. Otherwise, 14 could end in a 7-7 tie, and that would be sad. That would be big sad. So it looks like we're going to start with the 2v2. Not guaranteeing anything, but most 2v2s lag. So it might be a laggy start, but that's okay. And after that, it'll be 13 1v1s. Should be tight. Should be dope. I am waiting on a lobby code. Supposedly the 2v2 needs to go first, but I'm not hearing anything from any of the 4 players. And I'm not upset about that. I'm just angry, enraged, etc. We have 10 replays played ahead of time because certain people couldn't coordinate their schedules to play it live. So 10 live means we have, 10 replays means we have 4 live to do. I'm one of those live ones. I have to play High Elves as Skaven, which is normally favored for the rats, but the rats are feeling a little rusty these days. They're not feeling so good. Strat game with $50 to the best streamer in the game. Thank you, sir. Though I am undeserving as my connection has timed out for spectating the 2v2. What the fuck? Connection timeout. Don't say that a lot. Oh, okay, I'm here now. We're good. We're good, we're good. A little what? Hey, Rusty. How you doing? What order of the bad thing? Alright. Sorry, someone's asked me an unrelated question while I'm in the lobby. Getting your ass handed to you by the ladder. Yeah, a lot of the RTK guys showed up. Especially Tim, dude. Tim's been spamming the ladder. Interesting. My brother sent me some League of Legends stuff. $5 for lagging. Thanks, Umbrella. Why is NC so rich? Because we're funded by Bill Gates. It's a crowdfunding organization. We have some other exciting stuff coming up. The faction war is still cooking along. We need some people to schedule some games. I'm going to start poking them much more aggressively if after this weekend they don't make any more progress. Because things actually went really smoothly in the faction war until now. And then we had some real slow pokes, so I might have to poke them a bit, because I was hoping to start streaming those this week. February, we'll have the Vermin League Finals. That'll be hype. And then also in February, we should have the Shadows of Change update, which I'm kind of wondering what's going to happen with that with the Vermin League Finals. I suppose I'll have to aggressively start scheduling those early in February if we're going to get them done. Pantalinate is still alive? I know, I was surprised too. Sorry, we're just trying to coordinate, get the 2v2 players into this lobby. They'll be here shortly, I assume. You need to start playing better before the Vermin League playoffs because I've been sucking lately. I've been playing well, but I'm playing suboptimal factions or suboptimal builds. A lot of the times that I lose, I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have brought X, Y, and Z units. That was a bad choice. I see why no one brings them now. But also, like, I'm not in a great spot with the current meta because of the factions that are strong, Bretonnia, Grand Cathay, Lizardmen, Kislev, Dark Elves. Like, those 5. There's others too, sure, but those 5 specifically, it's like, these ones are good right now. Alright, I don't play Dark Elves. I don't really play Lizardmen. I don't really play Grand Cathay. I play 2 of the strong factions right now, and I really haven't been playing Bretonnia because I find them horrendously unfun in my free time. And then when it comes tournament time and it's like, oh man, this is a big game that really matters, I don't want to bust out Bretonnia because I haven't played them in like 4 months because I thought, you know, I've been feeling they're boring. So Bretonnia's in a spot where they're so boring I don't want to practice them, but then when I need them, I'm not practiced. So the only top tier faction that I'm actually comfortable on is Kislev. So when you're playing these super top tier games, I'm like, ah, shit, my pick and ban is actually really bad. Because I'm not practiced on any of the strong stuff. I'm just playing Greenskins, Skaven still, even though they lose me a lot. I've been playing a lot of Slaanesh, playing some Norska, Tomb Kings and Vampire Coast I've been playing a lot of recently, things like that. And they're not bad factions, it's just I'm not playing a lot of the top tier factions in practice. And I've always been a bad Warriors of Chaos player. Ever since Warriors of Chaos was invented, I have not been very good at them. And they're strong right now. People disagree about how strong, but I think everybody agrees they're at least middle of the pack or higher. And I just don't play them at all. Whenever I play them pretty poorly. First game, this is the first game. We're doing the 2v2. Some people had scheduling issues, so they kind of need this to go first so they can leave and go do other things, which is fine. Which is fine, we'll allow it. Thanks, Babarat. World Beater loading into the game. Looks like players had their builds ready ahead of time, because as soon as World Beater and Gotrek got in the lobby, we launched right away. Warriors of Chaos got to be A tier, B plus worse. Yeah. Umbrella, that's right about where I'm at. I know some people think they're just middle of B, but I really haven't heard anybody arguing that they're down in like C or D tier or anything like that. It's just people are disagreeing whether they're middle or high. Because there's valid criticisms where some people tend to think, well, you know the Mutal Vortex Beast and their healer is what they're going to bring, so they're not that scary if you hard counter it. I understand that. Mutal Vortex Beast and a healer is definitely very, very strong. But I think a lot of the strength of Warriors of Chaos come from their diversity, because you could not take the Mutant Vortex Beast and the Caster and take some like slightly less optimal builds, but they play so wildly different. If your opponent is entirely preparing to punish the Mutant Vortex Beast, then you can just run them down. Like, 3 Chaos Knights build with Archaon are still pretty good. Chaos Warrior and Chosen Rush are pretty good versus factions like Tomb Kings or Vampire Coast. Armored Trolls are still pretty decent. People have still been taking a lot of those. Skirmish, while it's weaker in the game in general, like versus Vampire counts, you can still go 6 Skirmish Cav, Mutal Vortex Beast, and a healer. So, I don't know. Warriors of Chaos still have that diversity in them that make you prepare for a bunch of wildly different things. Because it's like, oh man, did I bring tools for light, fast Skirmish Cav? But did I also bring tools for heavily armored Chosen? And did I also bring tools to punish the lightly armored Mutal Vortex Beast with healing? And did I bring tools to deal with heavily armored cavalry like Chaos Knights? Ah, shit, this faction has a bit of everything. So, yeah, Chaos are strong. Now, I don't think they're OP. I wouldn't put them in the top 6 factions even. Like, Grand Cathay, Brett, Lizardmen, Kislev. And then I put Dark Elves, High Elves, still above Warriors of Chaos. Because High Elves are still good. They're not crazy strong, but I think they're the gatekeepers to top tier. I think anybody above High Elves is top tier, and I think High Elves is just like not. You know what I mean? They're right there. They are the final faction before you would get to top tier. Because High Elves have been having a rough go. Maybe it's because their meta has been so stagnant that people learned how to play against Imric and healing. So now they just get more heavily countered, but I don't know. It feels like the last couple DLCs brought more factions up to the High Elves level, and the High Elves didn't get any buffs or anything like that. Not that they needed them, just saying. That's a nice unbiased scorecard. Hell yeah, dude. What do you think of the Wood Elves as a faction skill-wise? They could use some buffs. The faction could use some buffs, but skill-wise, they're a very skill-expressive faction. They are not that easy to play. They do have healing, and some people might be like, well, that's all you need. Easy to play, easy game, easy life. But all of their units are low armored and low HP pools. So if you overextend with them or forget about them for a little bit, they'll take a lot more damage than like Grail Knights would or Blood Knights would or something like that. Wood Elves are one of the harder factions to play. For sure. First time watching live from the UK. Happy to have you, Clint Smith. First game might be laggy. We will see, as it is a 2v2, and that puts a lot of stress on things. If you are going to judge how live games go, I would recommend you give this one a pass and then see how things go in the 1v1s. And if it's still not to your liking, then rip, but thanks for giving us a shot. But 2v2s, very interesting in combat, in context, concept, there we go. But it's risky. It's risky without dedicated servers from CA. You're putting a lot of burden on whoever the host is to get through this. But the models are actually moving around pretty good, which you'd see the lag by now. So I think we'll get through with some modest lag if it holds as it currently is. Thanks, CS DRT20. We're always here. We never left. What would you consider to be the top 3 most skilled factions to play? This is the last off-comment thing I'll do before I start talking about the game ahead of us, but the armies are still setting up, so that's fine. Top 3 hardest factions to play, like, micro-wise. Probably Wood Elves, Slaanesh. Trying to think of the last one, because there's a couple good ones, but I'm just going to make sure that I don't have any incorrect before I answer. Dark Elves with an asterisk. Dark Elves with an asterisk. So you might be like, yeah, Brain Dead, Soul Stealer, Dragon, haha, very hard to play. Sure, but the rest of your army is actually rather difficult. If you're going with Shades, you got to know whether or not they can handle what's attacking them, because they can beat dogs, but they can't beat light cavalry, so it's not just like, oh, they'll beat whatever comes at them. If you have Scourge Runner Chariots, you need to be really careful about your ammo management, because their ammo is extremely limited. Things like that. Dragon Breath attacks you still need to be good with. Your Dark Riders and Cold One Knights are very fragile if you put them in bad situations. Your front line in general is pretty fragile if you put them in bad situations. Things like that. Dark Elves can be hard to play. Now, there is the mouth-breathing version of playing Dark Elves, where you just have Malice Darkblade sitting there trying to solo the whole game. No, that's not particularly hard, but also I can acknowledge that that's not the whole faction. So, I guess that's what I'd go with. Also, your only skirmish cav, repeater crossbows, are not 360 shooting, so can make skirmishing rather hard with Dark Elves. Okay. Armies are mostly set up. We are starting off the Clan War with a 2v2, and it is the Grand Cathay and Dwarven Mega Box versus the Vampire Counts paired up with the Warriors of Chaos for a bit of a rush. Now, this is interesting to see Gotrek Starbreaker on the Vampire Counts for us. He is our NC's resident dwarf expert. Loves the dwarves, has been playing them forever. Love or hate his style. Love or hate his style, he has been playing them forever, and he is quite potent on them. So it's interesting to see him matched up against his Dowie. For the Dwarves of Grand Cathay of ODM, we have Razel and Pantalonade. Jade Lancers for a bit of mobility presence. Two of those Crowmen, one of which is the Emperor's Crowman. Very, very good unit. Introduced to Shadows of Change. Probably a little too strong, does need some tuning down, but they are limited to 2, and almost every Grand Cathay player is going to take 2 in their builds. 2 Dwarven Cannons to help out with a bit of that damage profile. We do have the Bandits of the Silver Road, Peasant Archers with that fire weakness they imbue on all of their shots, plus flaming attacks. Corollaries and Iron Hail Gunners are mixed throughout the central lines. Then Peasant Long Spearmen, Miners of Blasting Charges, and Longbeards, holding the front line with 2 Iron Breakers, one of which is Norgumlings. Jade Warriors just being like Longbeards light on the front line. We do have Thoric Ironbrow on his Anvil of Doom, and Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon with Final Transmutation. I like that. Originally when I saw Zhao Ming, I thought it was interesting he didn't go with Miao Yang for that healing, that she could support all the dwarves. But if you go Final Trans, I can appreciate it, especially when you're facing Warriors of Chaos and Vampire Counts. There's high potential for like a blob of maybe Sigvald, Vlad, Aecold, Mortis Engine, things like that you want a Final Transmutation. So on second thought, I do like it from Zhao Ming. On the other side, for the NC lads trying to rush, we have some Fell Bats in the Vanguard for a little bit of disruption. They better watch out for the Crowman. They won't want that fight at all. 4 Vargeists, very heavy armor-piercing anti-infantry monsters. Manfred von Karstein, Fata Buna, Spirit Leech, his summon, and Invocation of Nehek. Invocation of Nehek cannot heal up the Warriors of Chaos units. It only targets undead things. I have a ping. Is it about this? Okay. We have some Knights of Immolation and other Doom Knights of Tzeentch paired up with Be'lakor, interestingly enough. Be'lakor did bring his minus leadership and removes ITP, which is huge against the Dwarves, because Longbeards all have ITP. And Thoric has an ITP aura, so you could actually make him route too. Melkos Mystifying Miasma plus the Withering for more leadership debuffs. Frontline of Zombies mixed in with Skeleton Warriors and Marauders. Then we have more Marauders, more Skeleton Warriors, 2 Corpse Carts, both with Unholy Lodestones, Chaos Warriors equipped with dual weapons, and Sternsmen. We do have the Soul of Damnation, a single Hell Cannon, and then a Chosen of Corn with dual weapons, but it is mostly relying on this flying squad to get the work done. Vargeist charging straight in from Gotrek Starbreaker, and one of them is going to die on the advance from these Iron Hail Gunners. It will not last. It's probably going to disintegrate any second now, but they are just suiciding for these ranged components. And I am concerned if that was the right move. Doom Knights of Tzeentch trying to shut down the cannons. I think they're maybe trying to shut down the cannons so that the Soul of Damnation has the range advantage. But won't the Dwarves and Grand Cathay just move up and shoot the cannon itself? I'm concerned. Slayers are getting their work in, fighting against those Vargeists, the exact targets they want to be fighting. The Knights of Immolation and Fellbats continue to try and disrupt some things. One Iron Hail Gunner is about dead. Cannon's also taking a lot of damage. It looks like Be'lakor and Manfred are about to get tucked in somewhere. So Be'lakor lands down here for now, gets a big shot off. And Slayers get the Dark Master, giving them 0 melee attack to try and help these Doom Knights out just a little bit. For the Vargeist counts, we've lost 2 so far. I count that one as lost. There's no way it comes back. The other 2 are about half HP. Cathay did lose an Iron Hail Gunner. A cannon is routing for now. Another cannon's taking significant damage, but isn't routing just yet. And a Final Transportation is getting cast. Is it overcast onto Manfred and the Knights of Immolation? No, it's undercast, but still a little bit of poke damage. Manfred should be able to heal it up. A really rough start here, though, for the forces of NC. 2,300 damage value for them, and on the other side, it's about 6,000 in the favor of Grand Cathay and the Dwarves. These Doom Knights are having trouble getting out of the blob fight. There they rout, and they've routed pretty close to the edge of the map. They might just fly right off. Fellbat's crumbling away. Knights of Immolation and Manfred still trying to get into the sky, but they're currently surrounded by Dragonback Slayers and Jade Lancers. Looks like only one Vargeist lived to tell the tale. So of the 4 that started, 3 are dead. One of the 2 Doom Knights is dead. And Manfred also might be dead. Master Rune of Slowness, plus the slow from the Dragonback Slayers, bringing him to 9 speed. He is crawling out of here. Taking so much damage, starting to crumble, and he can't cast Invocation of Heck on himself while he is crumbling, so he has no healing coming in whatsoever. Getting beat up by Zhao Ming, and his leadership falls to -55, almost bringing him to the disintegration point. Doom Knights and Be'lakor trying to get around, but the Iron Hail Gunners are firing straight up at them. This is looking bleak for poor Manfred. Crowman gonna pursue him off. They're just trying to keep that crumbling going mostly at this point. Just running him around, keeping him down. 1,000 HP and falling. Both zombie summons are behind him. Some skeleton warriors too, I guess. But it won't be enough. Vampire counts are going to lose their lord. They've lost almost all their Vargeists. Damage value is now 10,000 to 3,000. Still over 3 to 1. As the Warriors of Chaos focus on running things off the map, Manfred is still crumbling away. No one can save him at this point. His leadership just won't be high enough. Not all dwarves are ITP. Not all dwarves are ITP, but Longbeards are. Longbeards and anybody around Thor, because he does have that ITP aura from Ruin of Hearth and Home. Manfred's officially gone. As is his last Vargeist, it looks like. I don't see them anywhere anymore. Manfred pretty much did the Hell Pit Abomination thing, where he died and he left behind some skeleton warriors. What's the point of this assault without the rest of the army pushing it? I did mention at the start I was a little unclear of what the plan was there, but I think it was roughly to take out the cannons, and then the Hell Cannon forces the box to move towards you. I kind of get that, but it felt like you're going to take too much damage on the approach. Cathay is so good at damaging people with those Iron Hail Gunners and stuff, and it's not like dwarves are exactly chumps either. Iron Hail Gunner's going to rip up the last of the Knights of Immolation. Be'lakor's just flying around being annoying, but these zombies and skeleton summons will get going here soon. Then when they're gone, there will obviously be no more, as there's no other caster for the vampire counts. Cannons routed yet again. Quarrelers and Iron Hail Gunners continuing to fire. Somehow the Knights of Immolation are chilling, man. There they go. Now they start taking significant damage. Down to 400 HP and falling. 2 leadership on them. Somehow staying in this game for now, as the Ironbreakers are moving up. Look at these zombies. Zombies are already down to less than half leadership because their lord died. That's funny. It's funny how low their base leadership is. Knights of Immolation routing off. Surprised they're not shattered, but 170 HP. Not really a lot. The Onyx Crowman will walk them off at this point. Boop. Soul of Damnation is getting good damage out, though. Iron Hail Gunners might rout. How have you been? Spartan Damos? I've been good. Been good. Super busy. Crypt Ghouls would have been nice here. Possibly, though. Crypt Ghouls... Oh, wait. Crypt Ghouls, not Crypt Horrors. Maybe. I don't know how they do, honestly, versus dwarves and undead. I just haven't seen Crypt Ghouls for a while. I feel like last time I saw them, they disappointed me. It's not exactly a surprise. Alright, Sakura backing that up. Kernigstein Stalker's taken out by a good volley from the Norgamus Ironbreakers. Going to get charged by the Jade Lancers. I think it's over, though. It is very hard to come back from this kind of deficit. 5,000 to about 11,000 damage value. The vampire counts and Warriors of Chaos have been coming back a little bit as the Soul of Damnation has been firing and things like that. They're running a couple things off the battlefield too, I suppose. But still, they're so far behind. Their zombies are crumbling really fast without the leadership. Goodbye, Königstein Stalkers. Goodbye, zombies. Warriors of Chaos going to move up a little bit. Chosen of Khorne with dual weapons, fighting these Onyx Crowmen. Killing them less quickly than I would have imagined for Chosen versus Crowmen. But what are Crowmen but the Chosen of Skies, right? Did Loopy play? Not yet. This is the first game. Look at the scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard. This is the first game. What do you want from me? Blasting charges up the hill do no damage to the Chosen of Khorne, and very little to the Soul of Damnation that is continuing to fire at the Iron Hail Gunners. Melkos Mystifying Miasma is overcast onto those guys. I don't think it does any more damage when it's overcast. I just think that increases its range. Yes, that increases its range. So maybe a bit of a whoopsie to overcast it there. Onyx Crowman diving in on that Soul of Damnation and these Chosen. Chosen should be able to kill those guys with haste, though they knock the Soul of Damnation offline for now. Elsewhere, the Cathay Dwarf front line is pushing up, grinding through the undead. I'm heckin' concerned. Overcasted the Withering from Be'lakor, too. Really wants to get rid of these miners and the Onyx Crowman, I suppose. Did a little bit of damage to him in return. People don't expect ghouls, at least in the current meta. I mean, ghouls are still weak to all the stuff you're going to bring anyway. Miners with blasting charges, Ironbreakers with their blasting charges, archers of any kind. It's not like the Crypt Ghouls require something special for you to bring. Hell Cannon is still firing out into the Dwarven lines as they continue to advance, continue to shoot at these guys. As the Sternsmen, the Chaos Warriors with dual weapons, and the Chosen with their dual weapons. Gonna have to kill a lot of Dwarves and Cathayans. A lot. Zhao Ming even tries his hand to shut down the Soul of Damnation, which has been tenaciously firing this whole time. 1200 Valiant still has half of its ammunition. And it has done a lot of damage to the Cathay backline. A lot of Iron Hill Gunners getting knocked out by it. Another Melkos Mystifying Miasma from Be'lakor to get rid of those guys. He terror-rots off another Iron Hill Gunner. And I guess outside of Final Transmutation from Zhao Ming, there's not a lot of good things that could kill Be'lakor in the late game, if they get rid of course, all of the ranged units. And that is a lot of Dwarf and Cathay units piled up on top of each other. All what I wouldn't give for an overcasted pendulum down that line. Not that that's a common spell these days, but it would have just been funny. Hell Cannon crew getting scattered around with some Chosen. At 4 Dwarven models, I think they can still mount the Hell Cannon. I think it's 3 or 2 where you have too few models to actually pilot the Hell Cannon. Master Rune of Slowness is keeping Be'lakor on the ground while Jade Lancers and Thoric chase after him. Lordling's Ironbreakers continue to grind through these guys. Balance of Power is getting close to Army Losses territories. The damage value has kind of maintained that rough 7,000 deficit. Something like that. The early start was so brutal. What up, Rocket? Soul of Damnation back online and firing once again. There's very few protectors left, though. A lot of the undead have faded away. Most of Chaos has also been pushed off. It's mostly Be'lakor and the Chosen at this point. That's just not enough to win a whole game. Hell Canyon is offline for real this time, down to 2 models, and I know that's not enough to pilot it. Ironbreakers and Peasant Longspears will probably die to the Chosen of Khorne unless there's some magical support, but Zhao Ming is currently fighting against Be'lakor. Be'lakor is being set on fire by some of those fire archers behind him, so he receives less healing than he would otherwise from Lord of Torment. How many points is the 2v2 worth? 2, I believe. Because otherwise we have 14 games. And then that would be a tie, and it'd be bad. At this point, that is GG. Army Losses is coming in hot. And that'll be 2 up to ODM off the 2v2. But they used Cathay, and they used their Dwarves. So they're out those factions for the rest. GG. I'll message Croissant and see if he's ready for our game. Croissant! Update the scorecard. The ODM Simps go up 2. And honestly, that was an alright 2v2. Not a ton of lag. Which is good. Because some 2v2s are just slideshows, man. You should take what you can get. Nice viewing numbers. Oh, we're just getting started. This stream's getting to This stream's getting to 900 viewers at a time, easy. Easy clap. One in the end. One what? What's happening? What's going on? I know Croissant and I were having issues connecting right before the stream. Before I knew the 2v2 was going first, I was trying to get into a lobby with him before the stream even started. And it kept saying connection timed out, which is weird. And I had that the first time with Pantalinade's 2v2 lobby, but then the second time I tried it was fine. Alright, he's in the lobby, so we're good. First of the 1v1s, it'll be me versus Croissant, High Elves Skaven. Traditionally a Skaven-favored matchup. Though I have lost it a couple times as of late. Because the High Elves can just do a lot of tricksy things. It's my main problem with it, is like, it's hard to prepare for triple bird, but then also prepare for 8 Illyrian Reavers, because of 4 melee, 4 ranged version charging through you. It's also hard to prepare for 4 bolt throwers or something like that, so it's just... It can be a tricky matchup. It's still Skaven favored, but... I don't know. I just get worried about not predicting everything and then losing. And then crying that I lost. Many a boo-hoo were had. If I do that, what do I do about bolt throwers? No, this won't do at all. Bolt throwers exist, don't they, precious? The sneaky High Elves with their sneaky bolt throwers. Sure, that's the best we can do. Will we see the only Skaven tier faction today? I saw what you did and I refuse to acknowledge it. Yeah, I'm playing Skaven Frenzy. Isn't the 2v2 1 point? It is 2 points. You think it's 1 point? Alright, someone's gonna have... So I'm hearing from both clans. Both clans, people are telling me different things. If, though a 2v2 is 1 point... We have 14 games. How's that going to work? So the 2v2 has to be worth 2 points, otherwise we have an even number of points and we could end in a tie. So that was what I was assuming, and some people have told me 2 points, some people have told me 1. So if it actually is 1 point, someone in charge of the event's going to have to figure that out and tell me how we don't end in a tie. Okay. Are Rangers good into Skaven? They're okay, but generally 600 gold, meh, infantry are not good versus anybody, unfortunately. Spearmen aren't particularly good versus Skaven either. Honestly, a lot of the competitive high elf builds in this matchup don't have any melee infantry at all. Just have archers, bolt throwers, cav monsters, things like that. Okay. So we're playing. What do we got here for a build? My opponent has a decent number of troops, so that's nice. I did end up taking the Avalanche Mortars for a bit of ranged presence, but they can't be Fate of Bunid like Jezzail's can. So, it is something. And High Elves are so closely packed, the Avalanche Mortars can get a lot of damage out. We have triple globes to deal with Illyrian Reavers, Silver Helms, Dragon Princes, or infantry, anything like that. So this is for archers, this is for infantry. If he goes with a ludicrous number of bolt throwers, I'm just going to have to advance on him, and I do have a lot of melee units that I can do that. So if he has 4 bolt throwers, 3 or 4 bolt throwers, I just kind of walk at him and accept that I'm going to take some damage on the way. We have 4 Rat Ogres to counter Phoenixes or cavalry of other kinds. Also, they'll just hold people in place for poison globes, so they're generally good at that. Some dogs for running off routing units. I've just generally found that having dogs is almost always useful. I do have Icket Claw on his Doom Wheel with Flensing Ruin. I've tried taking the Grey Seer and going wider, but the Grey Seer is less maneuverable, so I feel like bolt throwers can whittle him down more easily. And his melee debuffs aren't such a big deal versus the High Elves, because this game is won or lost at a range by both factions. So the melee debuffs don't really matter. And I've regretted not having Flensing Ruin if the enemy goes Tyrion and 2 birds, or a Deathcaster and 2 birds or something. Like any of the bird combos, it's really nice to have the Flensing Ruins to punish the blob if it forms. If not, then Icket Claw is still a pretty mobile, kind of tanky lord that the Skaven can take, and it's harder to snipe him. It's fine. Alright, you have guard mode on? Y'all have guard mode on? Okay. Pair up our Rat Ogres, dogs in their own group, triads in their own group, the rest. I don't get why Rangers don't have Vanguard deployment. It would be cool, but they don't. But bolts will massacre the mortars. Yeah, if he takes a bunch of bolt throwers, then I just have to advance on him quickly. Like that. Alright, he's aiming at Icket. So let's just do some swirlies. Alright, he's all shooting at the avalanche mortars now. So that's just like, that's just how this matchup goes. You're guessing really hard at what the opponent's going to bring, and if they bring what you didn't want them to bring, then it sucks to be you. But that's kind of how we do things, right? We'll try and get in range of something before we die, but try is a keyword there. I'm going to pop your guys' concealment bombs because there's a flying Deathcaster somewhere around. Okay. Dogs aren't going to quite get there, so I'll just back off. Okay. So we're doing all right, disrupting some of these people. But we have lost our avalanche mortars. Got some Illyrian Reavers on the flank, which is fine. Okay. Dogs have lost the plot a little bit. We can still shut down a lot of bolt throwers and shit. Okay, Claw and the Triads pushed off those guys, so my globes can continue to just be annoying. Globes over here can continue to be a nuisance. Dogs, try and avoid that cav charge that's coming in for you. If those silver helms are going to ignore me, then I can use my globes to get rid of them. Okay. I think it's going to cast that, and then come back here for those guys. Globes can help get rid of those. My dogs are mostly all dead. And some of his cav is sweeping up my backline, which is not unexpected. I don't know why these globes end up in all these dumbass situations, though. I don't really know what's causing that at the moment. What is going on with my globes, dude? I swear I'm giving them so many orders to get the fuck out of there, and they just keep ending up in these dumbass situations. Whatever. I don't really want to use any more of Icket's unlimited powers. Throw your fucking globes, man! What are you doing? Throw! 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 Jesus fucking Christ! I hate Skaven so much right now. I don't know why, but they have the buggiest fucking ranged units in the world. It's insane. Alright, Ikit is still taking a bunch of bolt thrower fire because the dogs failed to shut them down, unfortunately. We're doing our best. We're doing our best. Globes can push forward and do a little bit of poking there. Ikit's gonna die soon. I'll see if I can get him over here where he can route some of those silver helms or something. But we gotta shut down the bolt throwers. Jesus Christ, dude. Whew. Alright, Ikit's about to die. I swore I've given these rat ogres attack orders several times, but I guess they just don't want to do it, which is also cool. We have some dogs back. I can chase down those archers for a bit. Rat ogre got a charge on them, that should be enough. But Spirit Leech plus bolt throwers means dead Ikit. Throw, 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 throw! You gotta throw! You gotta throw, man! Alright, there we go. We annihilated them. They should route, meaning I'm going to force orders onto this silver helm, because that other one's going to route, and then I'll have a free shot. So throw no matter what. Ikit's dead. He's dead. We know he's dead. But my rat ogres should be able to keep routing off these other guys. Globes should be able to clean up some nonsense. And then we can probably win from there. Alright, silver helms took a lot of damage from that. Globes getting rid of all these spears and shit. Okay, all that stuff's shattered. That stuff hasn't shattered yet. Ikit's still not dead somehow. I don't really know how that's working for me, but sure. We take those. Alright, everything over here is shattered. Let's return. Let's return. Alright, globes are doing good. They have plenty of ammo, so I'm going to let them throw at those guys instead of pursuing them in melee. But we're reforming lines, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. That should shatter those guys. And this really shouldn't be my problem anymore, because they should just have a Death Caster and a couple Cav that are so weak they can't possibly beat me. Alright, we have some full health Rat Ogres. Some Clan Rat Spears, some Globes, some Triads. Even without Ikit, we should be able to maintain. Does she have Doom and Darkness? No, she doesn't have Doom and Darkness. Okay, so an Overcast of Doom and Darkness would for sure win the late game if Ikit's dead and she gets to charge in full free. Alright. Ah! That was stressful. But yeah, last time I took my normal, well not normal, but I took my Forge Azael build that counters bolt throwers, and I think it was the Phoenix King, or Rite of Rohan? No, Rite of Rohan took the Phoenix's in Tyrion, which was weird. Chad, but weird. Someone else I was fighting, I lost this matchup because I expected bolt throwers and they didn't take any. They just took 8 Illyrian Reavers. So this was a bit more balanced of a build. It was very stressful without any Jezzails, but if you need Jezzails, you're going to need to go with 3. Because Deathcaster can Fate Being a 1, 2 bolt throwers can shoot at the other one and beat it, and he had 3, so I mean 3 bolt throwers could have killed my second Jezzail, so if you want any Jezzails to live, you'll need 3. But then if they go Mass Illyrian Reavers, I just found those too narrow. Yeah, those 3 bolt throwers are probably going to lose the high elves of the game. They have over half the ammunition they'll likely ever be used. I mean, they killed Ikit. That was annoying. He did good at getting his cavalry back to annoy my dogs, because I got dogs back there for a little bit. But let's turn guard mode off of the globes for now, because I don't want them to like reform lines and lose attack orders like dumbasses. Spirit Leech is out for the Archmage of Death. She's Fate of Buning, one of my Rat Ogres. The High Elves are just chasing shattered units at this point and spell-kiting me? Bruh? I guess they're technically regrouping, but this is stretching regrouping, chasing shattered units off. Yeah, Triad's back. That's fun. Okay, killed those guys. One globe for you, one globe for you. All the Rat Ogres and Spears are just waiting for that Deathcaster to land. There she is. Kill her. And the globes should be able to peel for themselves. If they can't, they don't deserve to be alive. There they go. And now you guys will walk very far away from here and do not throw at my blob. There. GG. Oh! That was stressful. We got a point. Rip Icket. Okay, I gotta go through the values quick because our next game is already ready for us. Ashen Triads didn't do much, but they were there for Phoenixes. They were not there for anything that I was facing, so then I just used them as frontline units because I didn't have what they wanted to fight. But they're there in case of Phoenixes. Globes did great. Avalanche Mortars got shut down immediately by his Bolt Throwers. Icket Claw did fine before the Bolt Throwers also got him. Archmage's Death did great. Silver Helms and Illyrian Reavers were very annoying. Triple Bolt Thrower, they all about paid for themselves, which is pretty darn good. Archers were also annoying. Spearmen did fine. G. I gotta go find Tactical Lich and Boamond. I will update the score, but I'm gonna get to their game first. But yes, that is a Skaven favored matchup because the High Elf Spearmen didn't have anything to do. Rest in peace, High Elf Spearmen. Oh, my palms are so sweaty. My palms are actually shaking a little bit. Shaky hands. Shaky hands. I get so nervous. I get so nervous because, like, it's a matchup you should win, right? It's different if it's Skaven versus, like, Slaanesh or Beastmen where you're expected to lose. But when it's a matchup you should win and people are counting on you, you just get so... You get so fucking psyched out, right? And especially when you load in and you're like, I don't know what to expect. It's High Elves. They're capable of some crazy shit. I'm not taking Jezzails because I can't deal with those Bolt Throwers. I mean, if it's not Bolt Throwers, then Jezzails are worthless. Boom! 3 Bolt Throwers. That's it! I've lost the game mode build. It's over. I'm fucking trash. The stress is over. We made it. Scores 1-2. On to our next game. Chosen One, also on Skaven, versus Wood Elves of Tactical Lich. Dude, High Elves always lose on this channel. It's true, it's fair. I wasn't stressed before, I am after that. Talk. Hummus, thanks. Ugh. Do it for the clan, yeah. Dude, everything's different when you're stressed. Everything's different when you're stressed. You can chill and play the best games of your life, and then you have to play, like, a serious game that actually matters, and you just lose your mind. Case in point, the last couple times I've played tournament games, like versus Berserk, or someone that I actually really wanted to beat, and I was trying my best, I would pick, like, you pick a faction, and it's like you're back in high school, man. You pick a faction, and, like, none of the units look good, and you're like, what's a build here? What even is a build? What spells are good? Is Spirit Leech a good spell? I don't know. Is Regrowth a good spell? I have no idea, because the pressure just gets to you, and, like, all your knowledge just goes out the window, and you're like, everything's bad. Every unit I have is bad. Nothing can win. Huh. All right, what do we have? More Skaven. Yes. And some Wood Elves. For Tactical Lich and NC, we have double Great Eagle, Wild Riders, and Treekin, interspersed with some Glade Riders of Spears, 4 of those, 5 Dryads, Dreicha, with the Withering, and Melkos Mystifying Miasma for her spells. The Withering for that minus leadership against The Skefinos. On the other side for Chosen One and ODM. Still ahead with that 2-point lead they had. Still ahead for now. Until Tactical Lich kicks Chosen One's ass, then we'll be caught up. Triple Night Runners for a little bit of skirmish presence. Clan Rats, including Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers as a front line. We have 2 Warplock Jezzails, 2 Poisonwind Globes, more Skaven Slaves, 1 Eshin Triad, 4 Rat Ogres, no Wolf Rats, interesting enough, and we do have a Gracier of Plague with both of his summons, and Pestilent Breath. Kind of a wild build here from Chosen One, but then again, I do play quite differently than him, so it's always fun for me to watch. The Jezzails are here because Wood Elves can still kite you. It's not nearly as effective as Warhammer 2, but you need to be ready for it, so Jezzails can counterfire against Way Watchers or Deepwood Scouts effectively. And then in case of the rush, he has Triads, 4 Rat Ogres, and 2 Poisonwind Globes. It's a pretty solid build overall. The Lich did do some chicanery. Double Great Eagle is surprising. And then Treekin on the front line will be very annoying for this Skaven. They won't get through the front line quickly, but they're there. They're annoying. And we're off. Jezzails with their fire at will immediately pick targets on the Dryads. Don't pause for even a second, doing good damage to those guys as Drycha and their forces start to march up. Night Runner's getting out a little bit of kiting too. Dryads do have 60 armor and a bit of physical resistance, 20% physical resistance. So the Night Runners aren't going to get a ton of damage, but it's a little bit. It's nice little pokes. And Clan Rats already getting deployed to delay the Dryad advance by a little bit more. Seriously, I know if the 2v2 counts for 1 point, so we have a tie, but God, I don't like the 2v2. Dude, I don't know, Rocket! This is supposed to be worked out ahead of time. Just do what I can. Anyway, Glade Riders are all charging in, so are the Wild Riders, and they are going to disrupt some Rat Ogres for a bit. Globe's getting off good shots, even though the Great Eagles are in to try and disrupt them, and the Dryad Summon is out for Drycha. One of the Night Runners is already routing. It looks like the Jezzails will be next, as Glade Riders are piling through Skaven Slaves to get up with those Dryads and meet on the Warlock Jezzails. Going to shut down the other Jezzail too. So good stuff here from Tactical Lich, really trying to saturate in the area. It is still a Skaven game, however, and the early game is going to look real rough for the assaulting army, as Dryads have taken a huge amount of damage. So have some of their Eagles. The other Eagle is now diving in on the same one where his other brethren just died, but he wants to disrupt those globes, buy a little bit more time for the Treekin and the Dryads to get through. Wild Riders do need to back off here and stop fighting those Rat Ogres, let the Dryads do it, and the Wild Riders can take over the backfield and start chasing stuff off. We do have some Rat Ogres about to rout, but a little bit too much blobbing coming in here from the Cavalry of the Wood Elves. 3 units all in the same area, all going to get globed, as these globes are currently unimpeded and launching volleys at these guys. So a bit of a rough time here for the Wood Elves a bit, as this Eagle that dove straight into the Rat Ogres is regretting it, taking a ton of damage, and the globes it was trying to disrupt are now coming back elsewhere. Night Runners protecting the Warplock Jezzails, who are not getting much done right now. This is not the build they were hoping for, so I guess they don't have a ton they can do, but still trying to keep them safe, get what they can, going where they can. Malevolent Dryad Summon is going to wear off in 10 seconds, and the Skaven seem to have a pretty good handle on what is going on. It's a French thing. No comprende. Both Great Eagles are about to be shut down. This one's going to rout yet again. The other one is going to die to those Triads and Rat Ogres in the blink of an eye. Drycha's still fighting it out, but the Wood Elves are running out of steam across the board, and the Skaven are up still about 2,000 damage value. It's pretty good stuff from them. Jezzails getting shut down once again by the Glade Riders, but those globes throwing downhill into those guys, doing a ton of damage, pushing them back. Skaven have really reformed lines now, and it is just the 2 Treekin and Drycha still involved in the fight. As the rest of the Wood Elves try and recover, there's just not a lot to them. It's not like they have a healing caster either, where it's, oh, just buy time and heal up, it's fine. It's like, nah, you have Drycha, this is an all-in rush build. Another Melkost to take out some of the Poisonwind Globes. Treekin continue to just grind through these guys, but Night Runners are chucking at them. Their leadership is faltering already, and we still do have a full health Eshin Triad. We still have a fire damage dealing Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers up on the high ground. The Great Eagle is churning through these guys. Globes chuck up and over the Wild Riders. Rat Ogres charging too. That'll be the end of that Wild Rider. Bounce power isn't as bad for the Wood Elves as I would have thought, and I guess it's this secondary charge of the Dryads. And for the globes are the big problem. We still have one up there with plenty of health and ammunition. It's currently being disrupted by, you know, the Eagle. So I guess these Night Runners will get run down by Dryads. That's fine. Warlock Jezzail should be safe and sound. It can probably get out of here. There's just a lot of chaff left, though. There's a lot of chaff left. Like, Drycha could kill the Grey Seer pretty easily, and ranged units, honestly, if it came down to late game, but with all this chaff still around, I think she'll have a hard time. Skaven's just a really good faction in the hands of a top-tier player. Skaven S-tier confirmed? Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Just, no, more. No, I love it. I love it. Just make my entire career a fucking joke. It's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. I hate you guys. Alright. The Skaven have got this one. I mean, really for the Wood Elves, it is just Drycha. That is any force left on the battlefield. And there's so many Skaven units left that even if the Jezzails can't get a good beat on her or anything, they'll grind her down eventually, right? You still have Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers. She is weak to fire. You have Clan Rats with Spears. You have Night Runners with full HP. You have Rat Ogres. You have things like that. And the Grey Seer might still have one of his Stormvermin summons. Yeah, he does have a Stormvermin summon, so if push comes to shove, hyper late game, Drycha kills everything besides the Grey Seer. He can chuck that at his own feet and just get rid of that. Another Mel cost to damage the Poisonman Globes, but they shatter off the Glade Riders with Spears that are charging straight at them. Rat Ogres returning to the fight as well. Stormvermin Halberd summon, one of the two available, is about to fade away. Jezzails are going to kill some Treekin. The static trees will march to their aid. If all of these trees became ancient treemen and just started walking over, then yes. Then yeah, I'm with you on that one. Drycha's still trying to grind it out. Wild Riders charging down some Skaven Slave Spears in the distance. But the Warplock Jezzails, being alive, can probably fire over those Wild Riders no problem. And looking around, there's no other hidden secret units to worry about, so it is just those Wild Riders, this Routing Dryad, and this returning Super Dead Dryad. Really top-tier factions. Oh, I hate all of you. I hate all of you so much. I despise you. That's not true. But it's close to true. That is a point for ODM. Here's what I'll do to stop all the belly aching. I can stop all the belly aching. Get good. Boom. Done. Fixed. The Eagles were a cool invention by Tactical Lich, but they unfortunately amounted to very little. They didn't even disrupt the globes that they landed on, unfortunately. Like we saw in the early game, the globes just landed and kept throwing anyway. So that sucks. He tried. He tried something cool. He tried something nifty. All right, our next game is ready. Korn's Bloody Yoga Studio. Great. I'll get the blocker up before we join, just in case I see something I shouldn't. 1, 2, 3. Update the scorecard. Three to that. Gotta do the Hawk Riders. Easy. Easy clap. Dr. Nerd is here. ODM's Euspus is also here. It looks like we have Empire versus Norska. The Empire build is ready, and the Empire build is spicy. Jesus. Chosen One! Get your Faction War games done. Chosen One, get your Faction War games done. Hey! Hey! I'm mad at you. You're holding us all up. Only you. No one else. No one else is holding us up. Just Chosen One. Everybody else could play their games today if it wasn't for Chosen One. And the best faction wins again. Who would have predicted that? I bet it's Blazing Saddles time. It's not Blazing Saddles time, but it is a Warrior Priest and a Templar Luminarch. Alright, Bowman is bullying me in DMs. That's not nice. That's not nice. That's minus 6 points to Gryffindor. Skaven are the second best faction. The best, of course, Tomb Kings. Easy. Easy. Alright, well, Dr. Nerd, keep this close. Having NC keep up with ODM, or will ODM start to grow their lead off the backs of Usbus? Norska from Usbus. We have a Metal Cast Eye, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom. Throg with just Fight or Die, but he also does have that nice troll regeneration of his. Maws of Savagery, plus 2 more Armored Skinwolves. Armored Skinwolves are really coming back into style. Norska wasn't seen for like 2 or 3 weeks straight, just no one would play them. And now I see them all the time, but it's always with Armored Skinwolves instead of just normal ones. Do have Marauder Horse Masters, 2 Norscan Ice Wolves, and the Beasts of Tashnar. On the other side, we have triple Marauder... Sorry, not on the other side. On the front line, we have 3 Marauder Berserkers, 4 Marauders. Straightforward build. On the other side, for the forces of the Empire, Halberdiers and Spearmen for a front line. A couple Huntsmen in there, always good versus Norska. Traditionally a low-armored faction, though you do have some armored Skinwolves now running around. But even being armored, quote-unquote, it's 70 armor. It's not a huge deal. The Huntsmen will still do decent damage there. 4 Empire Knights. Bit of armored heavy cav. Temploth, Luminarch of Hish, with its bound net. And then we do have a Warrior Priest that gives flaming attacks, and then his melee attack and his damage resistance. I don't want to call them auras, because they're not passive, and aura sounds very passive. I guess AoE buffs. Just say the whole thing. Gelt's up the sky with Final Transmutation, Plague of Rust, and his Staff of Alums. So between Final Transmutation and the Temple of Luminarch, Throg / the Metalcaster are going to have a bad day. One thing I do worry about, actually a little bit, for this Empire build versus Norska is Norska has a good core. They're not really relying on Throg and the Metal Sorcerer. Like, Berserkers can cleave through a lot of state troops. The Armored Skinwolves and the Dogs can do pretty well even without a Lord. It's going to be rough. I still think sniping out Throg is going to be a good plan. Skinwolves are not the bravest creatures on the planet. I just worry that the Empire is going to achieve its goal of killing Throg and then lose the game anyway. The Hoff will be tricky. We'll see. I've sometimes seen it not do as much damage as you would suspect versus things like Throg. Because the real big damage shots you can get is when it can triple or quadruple hit things. Sorry, someone asked me something about this event. Yes, I do. Anyway, it can double or triple hit things. With standing characters like Throg, it'll just hit him once, which will still do good damage, but it won't do the YouTube highlight damage you're used to seeing. So it'll take probably, I'm guessing, 5 shots to kill Throg, and it takes a long time to get those shots out of the Temple of Luminarch. Throg is weak to fire damage. It does do fire damage. And the Beasts of Tashnar are rolling up to get some shots onto it, but Huntsmen are nearby, they can peel it off, and we have Empire Knights that can charge those dogs down, so overall it looks like they want nothing to do with that. As the Empire continues to slowly move up, they're going to try and take a shot on the Skinwolves. I think that's going to hit a tree, and even if it doesn't, it's not going to do that much damage to the Maws of Savagery. There's the shot. It got through the trees, and it really didn't do that much damage to the Maws of Savagery. It killed 2 models, which is something. You take those, but Luminarchs are only there for single entity sniping. Here we go. First shot from the Temple of Luminarch. Gets its second shot off. That was actually a pretty quick reload as far as that stuff goes. But I did warn you, didn't I? I did warn you, didn't I? Didn't I warn you, chat? It's not going to be the YouTube highlight you thought it was. You people always doubt me. Always. And yet I'm never wrong. When will you learn? Temple of Luminarch is aiming to fire over here somewhat. Fires, gets very little damage down. The Empire Knights buffed up by the Warrior Priest should do okay here, especially with Huntsman's support. The frontline fight is commencing. Huntsmen taking their day out on some Berserkers, but elsewhere the Berserkers will get to the front line uncontested. Templar Luminarch is back to sniping at Throg, and it will get good consistent damage down. Even if it's not highlight damage, it's good damage. So Throg had best beware. The Sigmar buffed Empire Knights are holding for now. They are chilling. Grand Shield of Faith plus Hammer of Sigmar giving them really good stats. They're going to push off these dogs and skirmish Cavs soon, but on the other side, the Cav is left wanting. They get free charge by the Beast of Tashnar and the Armored Skin Wolves. It's going to be a terrible time for them, as Empire Knights do rely on their charge bonus for most of their damage. Not just the stat buff of charge bonus, but also like the physical impact of a larger model hitting a small model. If they're sitting still, they lose all of that impetus, and now it looks like Dr. Nerd has realized those guys are closing in on his left flank. Overcasted Final Transmutation, hitting both the Shaman Sorcerer and Throg. Throg collapsed next to him and then walked over to him. And Templar Luminarch still trying to snipe him, but it misses horribly on that last shot. It's still trying to kill Throg, but it's taking a long time to do it. It's already almost half out of ammo as it continues to aim at Throg, get something done. Has it used any of its nets so far? Stab. I don't think it has. I think it only has 2 uses. Maybe it has 3 and it's used 1 of them. I don't know. Searing Doom trying to help these Marauders get through the front line, but the Berserkers are already doing their grisly work. Berserkers have gotten through everywhere they are. Like this one's about to break through, that one did break through, and this one broke through already. Throg got to the Temple of Luminarch, and he's like, say that to my face. I will kick you! I will kick you! And now he's starting to chase it down. We'll see if Gelt can do anything about this. The Empire is ahead on the balance of power. They are up on damage value. Let's see if they can keep the momentum going. This Warrior Priest buffing up Empire Knights has kept one flank locked down, which is not something the Empire's used to in this matchup. So that's a cool little tech piece. I like it. It's cool. It's neat. It's fun. Throg has a lot of regeneration left to get, though, and there's a ton of value locked up in that Temple of Luminarch that if Throg stays on it and just harasses it, it won't really get its value out for the rest of the game, and no one can challenge him. But it looks like he loses the plot. He's going to let it get away. It's going to turn around and shoot him in the back. This could be a disaster for Norska, as it looks like Dr. Nerd has realized he doesn't even need the Final Transmutation. Throg's this next shot is going to kill him, and if not, it's going to get him darn close. 200 HP. And a final trans poke down the Shaman Sorcerer of Metal. Bounce power gets even worse for Norska as they're about to lose their Lord. Huntsman also teeing off onto him. Throg is dead. There's no shot he lives to as Temple of Luminarch's lining up another shot, but it doesn't even need to, as now it can focus on the Shaman Sorcerer of Metal. In that next shot, it could take out Norska's caster and last source of any leadership whatsoever. Empire Knights are sweeping up the side areas, but Norska's getting a little bit done here. They have isolated the Warrior Priest. They're killing him off. They got rid of his supporting Empire Knights. And once again, boom, there goes that we predicted. Nice. Temple of Luminarch sniping out, even shattering the Shaman Sorcerer of Metal. But Norska not dedicating any resources to shutting down the Temple of Luminarch has caught them unawares. It's gotten 2,000 value over using a lot of shots. It didn't get its value quickly, but it has been left alone, given the space to work, as it kills its own Warrior Priest! Calm down! Dude! Calm down. You're feeling yourself a little bit too much right now. You're like, I see a single entity, and you just shoot it. You can't do that, as it shattered or killed the Warrior Priest. It looks like it just shattered him. Fucking Temple of Luminarch traitorous piece of shit. Skinwolves are trying to stay in the fight with the balance of power, but Gelt being full health and a full health Empire Knight in the distance is really tough on the balance of power for Norska. If the full health Empire Knight didn't exist and Gelt didn't exist, they would easily have this game, as the Maws of Savagery are about to do exactly what I wanted from the start of the game, jump onto that Temple of Luminarch, and they'll kill it very quickly. And then there's still enough Norscan infantry to clear out the last of the Empire, but with Gelt and with this healthy Empire Knight, that's just going to be too much agency left in the game for them. The Skinwolves really can't do that much. They're good, but they're not that good. As their leadership falls to -1, -4, they're going to rout any second now, but all of a sudden their leadership rallies and they're back on the chase, going after that Temple of Luminarch, and some dogs rout off the Huntsman. Norska's really trying to make a comeback because the balance of power is their worst enemy, so if they can kill off the Temple of Luminarch, that'll buy them enough balance of power for a bit to just let the game play out. Balthazar Gelt has used a lot of Winds of Magic and Final Transmutations and Plague of Rust. He's not that helpful at killing off these Berserkers. Empire Knights probably should still have this. Probably, right? I still think they have it. They can get a lot of impact damage down on the Norskins, but the Skinwolves are taking the fight now. Maws of Savagery are still Plague of Rust, Overcast debuff, and a big Final Transmutation hits 4 healthy infantry of Norska. This is too much damage on their already taxed balance of power. They are going to army loss any second now. The Temple of Luminarch did once again get away. The Maws of Savagery shatter, and there go the rest of the Norscan army. That is another point on the board for NC. You were wrong about army losses all stream last night? Not true. Not true. Temple off Luminarch 2100 value. Empire Knights did a lot of work. The Warrior Priest didn't get a lot of independent value, but he did help those Empire Knights a lot on the flank. The Huntsman also got a ton of value. And that's that. The other side, Throg got mostly shut down. Metalcaster didn't get a ton done either, though he was more supportive. Skinwolves mixed value. Dogs mixed value. Overall not great. Marauders did fine. Marauder Berserkers did well. GG. And is that it? I have to check if that's it for the live games. Yes, 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 and then mine. Okay, so we're done with the live games. Everything we have left is replays from people who had to play ahead of time because one person or the other involved is not here right now. That means the rest of the stream is going to go pretty darn fast. We'll just hop replay to replay to replay. Sound good? I don't have a blocker up anymore because there's no spoilers. People had to send me the games regardless, right? Let's do it. Of the replays, Gotrek Starbreaker from the 2v2, playing the Dwarves that I told you in the 2v2 are his favorite faction, versus JMG's Chaos Dwarves. JMG is very good. I played him recently in the Jade Cup. It's run by Zurihan. I played him in the Jade Cup. It was a best of 3. I went 0-2. We had one very, very close game, and then the second game was not close at all. The second game was my Wood Elves versus his Chaos Dwarves. He is quite good at this faction. But Gotrek is also very good at Dwarves, as I mentioned before, not just trying to say that JMG is a legend. I just already sang the praises of Mr. Starbreaker. For the Dwarves, we have one Gyrocopter with Brimstone guns. We do have Thoric Ironbrow. Looks like he is up on his anvil with 4 spells. Rune of Breaking, Wrath of Ruin, Negation. Oh, and then Doom. Doom just comes with the mount. He has 5 miners. The Skolder Guard, Iron Drake's Regiment of Renown. He has been very excited about these guys. He's been telling me that in DMs for a little bit now. Do 2 cannons, 1 flame cannon, and then some Dwarf Warriors, Dragonback Slayers, and more Dwarf Warriors with the Giant Slayer. For the Dowie Czar, the evil Dowie cousins, we have 2 Deathstreaker rocket launchers trying to kite this out, but they're getting shot by the cannons up and over the hill. Some Goblin Laborers on the front line, Chaos Dwarf Warriors, and Infernal Ironsworn. And then we do have Drazoth the Ashen with Burning Wrath and Ashstorm. So far, a rough start for the Chaos Dwarfs is the Deathstreaker rocket launchers trying to hide behind the hills. The hills were not enough to protect them from the arc of fire of the cannons. One is getting pushed off, and the Gyrocopter of Brimstone Good should be able to finish it off regardless. There's nothing around here that can really deal with it. The other Deathstreaker rocket launcher is also taking damage, though it plus Drazoth is able to peel the cannon that's shooting at it. So actually, that Deathstreaker will win its duel, while the right-hand one did not. Miners are sallying forth to eat some of the blasting charges of these Infernal Ironsworn, but also just buy time. And the Skolder Guard are firing in, doing pretty solid damage to the Blazing Beards, sacrificing some of their miners to the great cause, but it is what it is. One of the Deathstreakers is officially dead, and the Flame Cannon is still teeing off on these guys as Dragonback Slayers try and chase down Drazoth the Ashen. The Cannon Crew is back, much to the annoyance of the Deathstreaker rocket launcher. Cannons are now trying to fire across the battlefield and take out the other one. And these Dwarf Warriors' great weapons are going to peel off the Goblin Laborers in no time at all. Drazoth will return to kill off the cannons yet again. Dragonback Slayers get new orders to chase him down for real this time. Skolder Guard still firing into the Blazing Beards of Basrak, and the Blazing Beards did get rid of those miners with blasting charges, but it looks like they might be outclassed by their Dowie cousins with these little steam grenade launchers as they get pushed away. Thork is helping more miners fight it out. And with the Rune of Doom, he does turn those armor-piercing miners into actually forces to be reckoned with, because they're usually just held back by their low melee stats. And at that point, Chaos Dwarves are going to surrender, realizing they had lost their 2 expensive rocket pieces, and then most of their infantry have also taken a ton of damage. The Dwarves had a lot. They had a lot left over that they were plenty happy to use, and the Chaos Dwarves just conceded at that point. GG. Dwarven Cannons doing some good work. Flame Cannons also did well. Skolder Guard did well. GG. That was a fast dwarf game? Yeah. Gotrek's pretty good at these dwarves. He's pretty good at them. Dwarves are 2-0 today. But no, it's Skaven. It's Skaven who are broken. As for the overall clan score, it's evened up 3-3 as we press on. Black Knight on his beloved High Elves versus ODM's Persian Warrior on the Empire. In the lore, this is not a grudge match, but as far as Total War goes, dude, look at my diamond fingers. Diamond hands. We hold forever. Never sell. Never give in. Look at that. By the power of Zeus. Look at this fucking hand. Hold on. Okay, I'm focusing. Calm down. This is not a matchup in the lore. That's a grudge match, but across Warhammer 2 and Warhammer 3, it actually has been a bit of a grudge match. Because no matter the state of Empire and High Elves, it feels like this has just been an even matchup for all time. For Black Knight and his High Elves, he has 2 Illyrian Reavers in the trees. We have some Dragon Princes, 3 of them. 2 more Illyrian Reavers off in the distance. 5 Spearmen, a Life Caster with just Earthblood, and Imric up on his dragon. On the other side, for the Empire, triple War Wagon. We have a Grey Wizard with Pendulum and Melkoths, an Outrider with Grenade Launchers, Marcus Wolfheart with just his net. We have the Hammer of the Witches, Arwar Cannon, Swordsmen and Spearmen, and a couple Empire Knights to do a bit of peeling. You're Mohican, by the way. What up, Mohican? How you doing, man? Your game is coming up in a bit. Did you eat another one of your brownies? No, I'm just in a good mood. War Wagon fire, ripping apart the Spearmen for now, but not doing a ton of like impact damage or anything. Not the Black Lions. And their real targets are currently being held in reserve in the forest. This is good use of the forest. Just using it to advance, but also waiting for your front line to hit the enemy front line before you have to get out there and get active. Hammer of the Witches is also firing into the woods. It looks like they're focusing on Imric. They know they're not going to be able to kill this Life Caster most likely, so you might as well just tax Imric's HP, because he's going to heal cap. It's just a fact of life. He's going to heal cap this game. You have to kill 1.5 Imrics, so you might as well start now. Empire Knights on the backfield are charging Illyrian Reavers, and those Outriders Grenade Launchers wreck a Spearman off screen. And Imric's first breath attack is a little underwhelming. It just pokes some Empire Knights, and that's about it. But the Empire Knights are now fighting Dragon Princes. More Dragon Princes thunder in, and they are going to catch the War Wagons. Ever since the last patch, War Wagons have taken significant damage in melee with cavalry, and they need to constantly keep moving, and even then, it can be a little difficult to keep them safe. Some Illyrian Reavers are putting on their best Kosovoid Dervish cosplay as they dive the Hammer of the Witches and try to just sacrifice themselves to take out that cannon. And Imric has landed to help out the fight against the Empire Knights, though a Marcus Wolfheart net is trying to keep this all locked down. There's really not a lot of follow-up to punish after that. Outriders Grenade Launchers are here. They're going to fire into these clumped-up Spearmen and probably get insane damage value. Ooh, they're actually aiming for the Dragon Princes. I wonder how much damage this even does. Dragon Princes with physical and fire resistance are going to be quite resistant to that fire. The Grenadiers don't say that they have fire damage, but they do fire damage. You can see I'm hovering it. It says it's on fire when it's getting shot by the Grenadiers. Illyrian Reavers plus Imric going to catch that Outrider and do a lot of good damage. But the War Wagons of Persian Warriors successfully escaped the pickle they were in, and they're now nice and safe. Dragon Princes get a bit of an Earthblood. And is it Overcast? Yeah, it's an Overcast Earthblood. Ooh, that's a lot. So we still have one healthy Dragon Prince pushing off some Empire Knights. The other Dragon Prince finishes off the Hammer of the Witches. And the third Dragon Prince, where is that? Damaged in the woods. The High Elf Spear front line is holding for now, but that literally doesn't matter in this game at all. Neither side's front lines matter in this matchup. Like, Swordsmen win? Great. Spearmen win? Great. And it's not what we're talking about. Imric lands on the War Wagons. They're going to shoot him at point-blank range, which is brutal, but he will get out good damage, taking out one of the models of that War Wagon, terror-outing off the rest. The War Wagons split up. Not intentionally, as the Terror one just goes wherever the AI pleases, but I do like them splitting up in general so that Imric can't just follow all of them at once. Dragon Princes and Illyrian Reavers continue to sweep up the Empire Knights. They're going to get a rear charge on these Spearmen that should route them off and open up this area for the High Elves to just use it as a bit of a base of operations where they can safely launch attacks and come back to safety. Hammer of the Witches is back online. Once these Dragon Princes finally finish off the Empire Knights, which it feels like they've been working on for 75 years, maybe they can run over and do some good damage. Actually, yeah, this is is the cookie jar right here. Hammer the Witches and both of the healthy war wagons are back here. Marcus netted Imric right in front of these war wagons and the cannons, who's taking a lot of damage. He'll have to find his place soon as Outriders are pushing around the Life Mage. Not getting a ton of damage out, though. One of our Dragon Prince compatriots is quite injured. Other one's half HP, and then this one's full health. And it looks like it's trying to take a fight with Spearmen and Empire Knights. It does not care at all about the ranged units, though. Maybe it should, as the Hammer of the Witches continues to try and poke Imric down. Imric takes out one of the war wagons, and it looks like for good this time. One war wagon model is not going to change the course of this game. So essentially, one of the 3 war wagons is offline for good. Another Dragonhorn is out for the High Elves. The bounce power is about dead even, and I would agree, maybe slightly High Elf favored, just because they have healing on their side. So the longer the game goes on, the more it'll benefit them. Imric again finds his way onto these war wagons with a bit of help from Illyrian Reavers and Dragon Princes to get a little bit more damage out. And those war wagons are really the Empire army right now. If they get killed, this Empire army is doomed. Marcus Wolfheart continues to poke Imric, and Imric has not gotten away with this for free. There's no regrowth for him either. There's Earthbloods. Slow, consistent Earthbloods. Outrider Grenade Launchers is back. Some Dragon Princes are stuck fighting the Shadows Caster, though. They routed him, but they need to disperse before the grenades get shot off. Good. All right. If they were all clumped up around the Shadows Caster, they would have taken so much more damage than they already are. And that overall is going well for them. The Shadows Caster is slower than the Life Mage. She should be able to keep tracking them down. We have some Illyrian Reavers in the distance that might need to be brought back. And Imric and his horsemen are continuing to harass the war wagons. One war wagon is nice and healthy. The other one, 4 models, but lost a lot of HP and currently surrounded by Spearmen and Dragon Princes. High Elves taking the lead on bounce power. I definitely agree. So we still have a lot of Dragon Princes around. Marcus Wolfheart's trying to find his way onto someone, and I don't think the investment into killing Imric is going to pay off, because it's all or nothing. Either you kill him or you don't, and right now it's looking like don't. Because if he gets into real trouble, he can just back off and run over to his Lifecaster and get like 3 or 4 Earthbloods and come back into the fight. Still have some Dragon Princes fighting Spearmen, War Wagons, and Empire Knights. A little outnumbered, but we'll see if it even matters as the War Wagons waste their shots on Spearmen. Skirmish units are weird with how they target. Unless you specifically tell them to shoot something, I feel like they find the most random, dumb thing to shoot in the universe. One of Imric's Dragon Princes does finally rout, and he is stuck in Spearmen, surrounded by Empire Knights, and getting shot by War Wagons. This could be a rare moment for the Empire to get back in this game. War Wagon's still shooting at him, but they missed a lot of their shots. Strangely, despite how huge of a target is, they did miss a lot. Wolfheart nails him in the face. The Dragon Princes are once again going to task themselves with dealing with the War Wagons. So Wolfheart continues to poke away at Imric. I don't think it's going to be enough. There's even an Earthblood just to seal the deal on he's not going to die. Healing Cap is within sight. Wolfheart continues to smoke him with every single shot. And the Empire does have a couple state troops left. Though this guy probably has breath attacks, right? Okay, he's using his last breath attack now and pops the Dragon Horn for the final time. I hear it vuvuzeling. Come on. There it is. Final Dragon Horn, and he jumps down with his Starlance popped. He is very, very angry right now, and he could kill Marcus Wolfheart in like 2 hits, but he misses the first one. Lord of Dragons is also down to Wolfheart, giving him like no stats. There we go. He gets a good hit out. War Wagons pursued by Dragon Princes, as they have been all game, but this time it's actually going to count. The Empire is mostly routing. We have a healthy Spearman, a healthy Swordsman, and Wolfheart as the entirety of their armor that remains. Dragon Princes get another Earthblood from the Mage of Life, and Imric is really shitting the bed on killing Marcus Wolfheart here. Come on, dude. Alright, that's GG. In this matchup, is this matchup on where Rangers are good? Not really. Not really, unfortunately. They're okay, but they're just not... Rangers are not a 600 gold unit. I think that they would be... I think Rangers, in their current stat card, and High Elf mains can disagree with me if they want, but here's my take. With the Rangers' current stat card, if you give them 0 buffs, I think they would be good if you just lower their stat to be Spearman cost, so that you have the option between the defensive Spearmen or the offensive Rangers. But you have to pay extra for the Rangers to be your offensive option, and they're not better than Spearmen. They're just different, right? So I don't know. I think Rangers should just be a 500 gold unit and call it a day. Some people are saying they should get Vanguard. Some people are saying they should get better stats. That could be one way, but I think, like, for the fun of playing High Elves, which I'm not a High Elf main, but just my take, I think it'd be more fun for the High Elves if I had more aggressive options that weren't more expensive. Where it's like, I end up just taking Spearmen even when I rush builds just because I don't want to spend any more money on my front line than I already have to. So GG. That'll be NC taking the lead for the first time. Oh my goodness! They're paying for physical resist? That's fine, it just like doesn't add up. They don't end up being a better unit. Alright, Lamb Sauce King versus Salinator and the Warriors of Chaos. Gonna load this up quick, and I want to grab a drink. But it looks like this is gonna load too fast. So I'm gonna pause it. As soon as it opens up, I'm gonna pause it and grab a drink really quick here, because I finished my tea and my voice is starting to hurt as I'm just constantly shouting. When we do these replay casts, I don't have time to sit around in the build stages or anything like that. I just have to constantly keep talking to you. Alright, beer me. You want to see something heinous? Here's your halftime show, you fucks. You're all bothering me about a halftime show. You want to see something heinous? 1, jar of water, Diet Coke, and then my jar is the perfect size to just turn the Coke upside down, and that's that. Woo! Also, you might be like, why are you doing half Diet Coke, half water? That's fucked up. I'm a fucked up guy, and it's an old trick my dad taught me. When you're sick, which I'm not right now, bear with me. When you're sick, if you do half Diet Coke, half water, you get that caffeine that kind of wakes you up a little bit. You get some carbonation, which like helps with sore throat and stuff. But also, it's half water, so it's still hydrating. Because overall, actually, if you have a diet soda with caffeine, you end up losing water in the process. So it's hydrating. And I tried that when I was sick, like last year, and I just learned I liked it more than regular Diet Coke. So now I just drink it. Delicious. All right, let's do this. We have Lamb Sauce King on the Lizardmen versus the Warriors of Chaos. I don't want to do discredit, so I just need to find it real quick. Of Salinator. Salinator on the Warriors of Chaos versus Lamb Sauce King's Lizardmen. Cool, cool. We have Salon Mage Priest of Life with Dwellers Below and Regrowth. We do have 2 Razordon hunting packs for a little bit of armor-piercing kite in the late game if they need it. A Saurus frontline of mostly spears, some Feral Cold ones, and of course, the Shredder of Lustria. On the other side, we have Chaos Warhounds for Salinator, some Marauder Horsemen. It looks like it's mirrored on both sides with some of the Marauder Horsemen over here of Tzeentch. Frontline of Marauders, we have 1 Chosen with Halberds, the Severed Claw, Summoners of Rage, Dragon Ogres, and Archaon the Ever Chosen with just Searing Doom. When do you think you'd be able to cast all the Faction War games? As soon as these people play their fucking Faction War games! Razordon hunting packs falling back, dodging out of that Searing Doom. That's pretty good. But Archaon is getting a fight with the Shredder that he probably enjoys. The Severed Claw is here. Warp Flame is applied to make it weak to fire and have less armor. And Archaon does do fire damage. And the Summoner's Rage are here. This is a bad time for the Shredder of Lustria, and he has to back off. He's got the Shield to give him a little bit of leadership, a little bit of damage resistance, but he mostly just needs to leave this situation as he is in deep. He's now starting to fall back, and he gets an overcasted regrowth, but he's taken so much damage in the meantime. That is a brutal start for the Lizardmen. Chaos Warhounds in the backfield will get caught by Feral Cold Ones, and they're fighting Skink Skirmishers. Maybe they will take significant damage for that. And the Salon gets a beautiful banishment onto the combined front line of Chaos as too many units were on top of each other. Razordon hunting packs are trying to shoot at these Marauders and Chosen and all these things, but now dogs are on their ass. And the Shredder of Lustria is coming back here to tear out off these guys and bail out the Razordons as they again have to dodge a Searing Doom. These NASCAR Razordons are just dodging everything. Everything! They're cooking. They're cooking with gas. Dogs overall for Salinator are getting pushed away, but they'll be back and in greater numbers like the Sand People of old. Marauder Horsemen are mostly staying safe, occasionally taking fresh fruit or free pickings or whatever you want to call it, but they're not committing to anything overly long. Summoners of Rage bound Chain Lightning goes through the Saurus Spears, and then it starts to go a little haywire through some of the Chosen, some of the Razordons. Not too bad there. Balance power still about 50-50. Still have a good number of Saurus. The Shredder is nice and healed up now, and he's returning to the fight. We still have the Razordon hunting packs, both very healthy, both a lot of ammo. The one is terror routing away from the Summoners of Rage and Archaon. But that does leave them wide open since the Lizardmen player can't control them right now. He can't keep them safe like he has been all game, doing a really good job. And you see, as soon as they get isolated, the dogs just close in from all sides, theoretically and literally. And now they get ripped apart. I mean, that was just a good terror route from his opponent, and Lamb Sauce couldn't keep these guys where they had been, but he had been doing such a good job keeping them safe. And now the build kind of falls apart as one of the Razordons is forced to run into melee and try and save the Slann, but there is nowhere else for them to go. There's nothing left really protecting them, so they might as well hop into melee because these dogs and horsemen are going to eat them alive sooner rather than later. Summoners of Rage, Archaon, and these Chosen with Halberds continue to punish the Slann Mage Priest of Life, pushing him off as the Shredder tries to deal with the Severed Claw, who are also just chilling, living their best life. It was a very good deconstruction of the Lizardmen box. I do think the Lizardmen overall played well, especially with the Razordons. They just juked and dived and ducked and dipped and dodged around so many things, but eventually they ran out of room to run around. That's looking like GG unless something wild happens. The Slann is, for all intents and purposes, dead. There's nothing that can bail him out from those Summoners of Rage. Shredder is just about to rout. Everything else is routing, and that'll be army losses soon. GG. Shredder did okay. Saurus held for a while. Razordon hunting packs didn't get to shoot a lot. They were just constantly having to dodge around. For Salinator, Archaon got good value. The Summoners of Rage got decent value, which is not a sentence I get to say often these days. Oh, the Severed Claw and the Chosen with Halberds both getting 1,600 value, which is quite a lot. Marauder Horsemen all doing quite well. Dogs chasing off anything that got routed. And Marauders were just fodder you needed on the front line. GG. With that, ODM evens it right back up at 4-4. Wait, this is Clan War 4. Yes. NC's Bavarat on the Beastmen versus ODM Zyphos, a retiree on his Wood Elves. Now, he is a legend in the community. He's been playing for a long time. But also he plays Wood Elves, so he's a chump. Chump, my boy Bob's got this! Bavarat! I love saying his name. Even if I'm not saying it right. He's probably like, dude, don't have the accent. It's just Bavarat. No, it's Bavarat. Is the 2K Gold Mini Shredder any good? No. How long ahead of time are you going to decide when finals are? Probably the weekend after we finish all the other games. Okay. For Bavarat and the Beastmen. Triple Zongor. Triple Ungor Spearman Herd. 3 Ungor Raider Archers. You have a Deathcaster with Spirit Leech and Fate of Buna. Morgur the Shadow Gave. Some Harpies. The Butchers of Kalkengard. And some Centaurs. Pretty solid standard build. I like it. It's Bavanus. On the other side with Zyphos, we have 2 Sisters of the Thorn, Glade Riders, Wild Hunters of Kurnos. We do have a Branch Wraith with Awakening of the Wood and Earthblood. 2 Deepwood Scouts with Straight Shards, a front line of Dryads and Eternal Guard, and we do have a Glade Lord melee version with the Helm of Discord. Now, when I say melee version, of course he has a ranged attack, but there's one that has a ranged net and Arrow of Kurnos type ability. There's another one that has a Helm of Discord, so I call him the melee version. Vermin League Finals. Oh, I'm aiming for the first weekend of February. I'll post the tournament signups Sunday after the Vermin League closes. Right. All right, Centaur's charging forward, but as are the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, and that was a nasty downhill charge, scattering Zongors to the winds as the Deepwood Scouts offer a little bit of supporting fire. The Centaurs are also charging in, but the Glade Riders and the Helm of Discord caster are here to make them pay for it. And they're going to get the hell out of there. They don't want that trade anymore. They actually get out relatively scot-free, honestly, considering what was going on. Harpies are not committing to the fight. Some Deepwood Scouts taking a bit of damage, and this is a little blobby for my tastes. If that caster was up in the sky and could get a breath attack down, that would be like a 17 million value breath attack. Oh, and that's brutal, actually. A Curse of Honor here on this whole front line from the forces of the Wood Elves, hitting all those guys with that debuff. But a Fate of Buna, Yeetus Deletuses, the Wild Riders of Kurnos. Yeah, whatever. It's close enough. Y'all understand what I'm talking about. Both Sisters of Thorn are still very healthy. Both Deepwood Scouts are very healthy. The front line of the Wood Elves is holding on as some Blade Riders dive into the back line. For the Beastmen, their Centaurs have taken a lot of damage, as has their front line, but their Ungor Raiders are technically still alive. Butchers of Calgard are chilling, as is Morgur. Earthblood to heal out some of the Wood Elves as the Sisters of Thorn try and get some safety. They'll peel off the Centaurs if the Deepwood Scouts with their Swift Shards can shoot at the Butchers of Calgard and get them off of the front lines. It's a little bit of tit for tat for the Wood Elves here. They have routed off a ton of things. Balance power is still relatively even, a little bit in the Beastmen's favor as Deepwood Scouts continue to pepper in on the Zongors, but the Zongors really don't seem to care that much. They don't mind. And Zongors are good in this matchup. They do magic damage, so they can get through the physical resistance that a lot of Wood Elf units have. Glade Riders with Spears peeled off the back line. Looks like Dryads and Eternal Guard are going to go the same way as the Butchers of Calgard join the fight, offer that terror that they provide, which will make this much easier to clear out the infantry of the Wood Elves that are harassing this backfield. Then Centaurs can chase them down. From there, the Beastmen have been doing a pretty good job of running off things that route, whereas the Wood Elves are using a bit more of their leadership to stay in the fight more often. They just don't have the width that the Beastmen do, because when they route something from the Beastmen, it rallies in the distance and comes back. When the Beastmen route something, it's imperative and so far successful that they actually run it off and finish the job. Chaos Spawn Summon number 1 is out from Morgur. Is it his involuntary one? It is. It's his involuntary one, so he didn't choose that. He still has his optional one available for when he needs it. Butchers of the Calvin Guard get into a fight with the Glade Lord. The balance of power is shifting against the Wood Elves. Even though there's a summon on the field, I don't think the Chaos Spawn counts for that much of the balance of power, so I do think it is a natural lead. As the Wood Elves are just falling further and further behind. They lost one of their Deepwood Scouts. They've lost one of their Sisters of the Thorn. They still have one of each of those units, and they still have their Mighty Dragon Lord. But that is about it. Otherwise, they're running out of gas. For the Beastmen, they still have a healthy caster, healthy Morgur. Butchers of Calvin were healthy, but now, as I say that, they're down to half HP and falling. Beastmen still have some scraps of units here and there. Archers coming back, Centaurs coming back. So Beastmen definitely have the numbers, while the Wood Elves still have a bit of meat in certain elite areas with their Sisters of the Thorn and those Deepwood Scouts. Sisters taking quite a lot of damage. They'll need some Earthbloods from the Dryad if they're going to stay here. The Branch Wraith Dryad, I mean. Deepwood Scouts trying to fight their own way out of the Centaurs and the Harpies around, but more Beastmen keep piling in around these poor hapless Wood Elves. They can't catch a break, and they can't peel for themselves forever. Same with the Sisters of the Thorn. They're running back and forth to try and keep shutting everybody down, but eventually the world collapses in on them as a bunch of sweaty Centaurs just pile on, corrupt these Wood Elf noses with their stench, and push them off the map through sheer force of numbers. Morgur still has... No, he doesn't. He just used his voluntary Chaos Spawn Summon, so that is out. But, I mean, Archers are closing in, Zongors are still here, Centaurs are still here, and the Branch Wraith is the next target of Morgur. Both the Sisters of the Thorn shatter at the same time. The Wood Elves are just about out of this, as everybody piles on the Glade Lord, trying to take him down. A last defiant Awakening of the Wood does a little bit of damage and pushes some people around, but it's not going to be enough as a Spirit Leech drags the Glade Lord down with a big spooky skeletal hand into army losses. GG. For Bavaret, good win, good play. Didn't notice a lot of mistakes, which is nice. Bavarat's been playing a ton, but he and I haven't really met up that often. I used to like play around the time he would play or hang out in voice chats where he happened to be around. And then like our schedules just desynced. So I haven't seen him for a bit, but he's improved a lot since I last really paid attention to his play. So good shit, brother, good shit. Like it. For Zyphos, it's always good to see Always good to see him and any of the faces of people that used to play on Turin's channel when I was learning the game and watching them a ton. GG. I know Bird is probably going to disagree with me, and he's a way better Wood Elf player than I am, so defer to him. But it just feels like Deepwood Scouts are meh. I feel like they just don't do very much, but I know certain players like them. All right, let's go. I'm going to update the scorecard. NC, once again, ekes back into the lead with that win, but it is still very much neck and neck. As we have Lenorm, also known as Superb Fairy Wren, versus ODM's Rocket Roll, Tzeentch, and the Lizards. This is a classic Tzeentch build. Just plug Kairos Fate Weaver in here, and you have the old terrors of Tzeentch. 4 Skirmish Cav, Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch, 4 Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, 2 with Lances, 2 without, the Mutalith Vortex Beast, and a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch of Metal, with Found Transmutation and Plague of Rust. This would easily just be Kairos with Regrowth and Blue Fire. Where's the Mohican game? I saved him in the order people sent him to me. I saved him in the order people sent it to me. Anyway. We have on the other side for Rocket, double Quaddle, interestingly enough. Assault Mage Priest of Life with Regrowth and Earthblood. We do have some Saurus Warriors, Skink Skirmishers, and then Skink Cohorts with Javelins. Pretty straightforward build. Skink's trying to poke through the Tzeentchian shields right now, and Tzeentch is overall fine with that. I mean, they're like, yeah, sure, bring it on. Yeah, my game got lost in the ether. It did not. I saved them in the order they were sent to me. I don't need this shit from the peanut gallery. Alright. Chaos Knights running around. Skirmishers trying to find good moments to fire at the Quaddle, and they get some decent shots down, though that guy is squirrely. His super thin model does mean a lot of the arrows miss him. And then he also has that missile resistance that makes him a bit tankier. So the Skirmish Cap going to have a tough time really hitting that Quaddle. Chaos Knights and the Mutalith Vortex Beast in the meantime getting some charges out for free. Trying to rampage these Feral Cold Ones back into a bad fight. And they are so close to rampaging, but it can't quite be done. The Chaos Knights of Tzeentch will get a rear charge onto them. That should bring them back into the fight. As the Quaddle uses one of its bound chain lightnings to do a lot of damage to the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch. And oh, big damage on the other side. While I was busy watching that Cav engagement, the Skirmish Cav took a bit of a walloping from the Jab Skinks who have moved up. The Skink Cohorts with Javelins are much more like miners with blasting charges than the Skink Skirmishers. So if you're in their way for a volley or two, and you're a large unit, you take a lot of damage. A large, lightly armored unit, right? They're not as generalist as miners can be, but still. Chaos Knights and the Mutalith Vortex Beast take a big fight, but the Mutalith Vortex Beast is focusing his time dueling the Quaddle, and the Shield of the Old Ones isn't enough to keep him safe for now. Earthblood Overcast also trying to get him back into the fight and doing well, doing healthy things. Brandon's Thunderbolt bound to one of the Quaddles is coming down. It looks like it'll smoke one Chaos Knight, though mostly it just missed. The other Quaddle is currently sitting in front of a bunch of Marauder Horsemen. It looks like it doesn't have attack orders right now, so it is sitting perfectly still for those Skirmish Cab, which is a bit unfortunate. Another Chain Lightning is ripping through these Tzeentchian Horsemen, though. And this Chaos Knight of Tzeentch beat the Feral Cold Ones. It now has access to rear-charging Skinks or running down these Skink Cohorts. It has to do something over here with these Skink Skirmishers. It's gotta get active. But the Mutalith Vortex Beast and the Chaos Knights continue to pursue this Quaddle, trying to finish it off. The other one's retreating with half HP, getting an Overcasted Regrowth to heal back up. And this Quaddle is getting smoked. Slowly, though, the attrition is starting to wear on Tzeentch. The damage with them sticks. The Lizardmen can heal it off. So what can Tzeentch get done with their limited health bars? The Quaddle is still trying to get back to its forces. Other Skinks are walking up, going to at least throw some Javelins to punish Tzeentch for their transgressions here. 3 of our Chaos Knights are about half HP. 1 is full. 1 of our Marauder Horsemen is half HP. The other 3 are about full. Mutalith Vortex Beast is full HP. And so is the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Metal. Pretty good resource management here so far from Lenorm, though Rocket is mostly focusing his attentions on those Chaos Knights, trying to take them out. Quaddle routes should be able to get back into the sky and then just heal up and be fine. Skink Skirmishers are going to shoot at this Mutalith Vortex Beast, who is currently standing in the middle of nowhere, so he has no random blockers for him or anything to distract those Skink Skirmishers. And the Chaos Knights are going to charge once again towards any skinks they can find isolated. They all are charging at the same target. They'll probably start piling up on each other. So, like, the first charge will go well, but the second, third, and fourth charges really aren't going to do that much damage. Marauder Horseman out, still around, still providing a bit of support. The Quaddle has returned. He's up in the sky. He's safe and sound. He can return to the salon at his leisure. All right, Quaddle still trying to run down some of these Marauder Horsemen. Does pitiful damage on the charge, but he's trying. He's trying, okay. But where the damage is adding up is these Chaos Knights. 3 of them now are at about 1/3 HP, and the other one still close to full. As more Earthbloods continue to heal up these Saurus, the Lizardmen are just committing to the grind game. They are betting that they can outlast Tzeentch, as the Mutal Vortex Beast has lost about 1/3 of his HP too. Did Alfred play already? Not yet. But he did play in this event, but not. We haven't cast it yet. Big overcasted Final Transmutation onto one of the Quaddles. As he flies over the Lizardmen forces, he's also delivering them a bit of gold-flavored death. But the other Quaddle is getting a regrowth at this moment to try and heal up as they both go to duel the Mutal Vortex Beast while they're under fire. And he is an anti-large duelist. This is risky, but I think they just want to keep him under pressure before his shields come back. But some nasty hits from the Mutal Vortex Beast, plus the Doom Bolt takes out one of the Quaddles, and the other one is now in a fight to the death. The Mutal Vortex Beast, however, is half HP and falling, still taking little darts from these skinks. The other skinks are still throwing at these Knights of Tzeentch and Saurus. They're just trying to find a fight. They're mostly slowly waddling after the Tzeentchian army, trying to get any battle they can. Quaddle's heal cap is within sight. He gets an Earthblood to heal him up a little bit more, but the Mutal Vortex Beast is the real loser of this fight so far, taking a ton of damage, and it only gets worse. Bound Banishment from the Salon tries to hit all of these Chaos Knights who are all lumped up. Unfortunately, it was not cast in this blob. It was cast kind of on the predictive side as they were charging in, but it would have done a little bit better there. But predictive casts at all are difficult, so it's not like, well, why don't you just cast it there, you idiot? It's like, I mean, you fucking tried. Something is happening here. It looks like shield the old ones and another Final Transmutation. It is also overcast, though it doesn't overcast damage the Sorcerer of Metal, so it is hitting that Quaddle, getting him down. The Mutal Vortex Beast is routing. Chaos Knights are routing, and they're right next to the edge of the map. Oh, this could be huge for the Lizardmen to get into this. I guess they are into this. They're up on the balance of power. It's just felt like they've been the receivers for most of this game, as the Mutal Vortex Beast and the Chaos Knights are walked off, and there's a Marauder Horseman with a ton of HP and ammunition. If the Quaddle can quickly get new orders onto that and walk it off the map, that would be crazy good for the Lizardmen, as 2-3 Chaos Knights are off the battlefield. Yeah, what did we start with? 4, and we have 1 left? Yeah, so that means 3 Chaos Knights are off the battlefield. That was a big moment for the Lizardmen. Holy crap. Marauder Horseman of Tzeentch running out of ammunition. We still have a half-health Chaos Knight and a full-health Chaos Lord. For the Lizardmen, now their bounce power is getting held up artificially by a full-health Slon, which, I mean, after he uses his Banishment and his Blood Statues of Smites and his healing, he's very ineffective. But his full HP bar can be deceiving. Aside from that, they have a lot of skinks who are out of ammunition, and they have some Saurus. The only healthy Chaos Knight that is left is currently in a bit too deep, taking a lot of damage, and he's the last real damage potential of this Tzeentch build, so he has to be a little bit more careful with his HP bar. There's no Mutalith to bail him out at this point. Other Quaddle is walked off. There's no more terror for the Lizardmen to rely on. Marauder Horsemen kiting it out as best they can. 1 ammunition left. 0 on either of these guys. The Source Warriors are now going to get charged. Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch, decent little melee combatants, but they're not anything like the heavy metal Chaos Knights. We still have 2 healthy Saurus that are going to be a big problem for Tzeentch. Everything else, not as much. I mean, these Feral Cold ones, these Skinks, they could deal with that with Cycle Charging, but the Saurus might be a bit too much for the Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch to be asked to deal with. Chaos Knights are back, and the Sorcerer of Metal takes a fight with the Salon Mage Priest of Life. He's doing his best. Chaos Knights start to path away from the Feral Cold ones, but they're poisoned and slowed down, so actually the Feral Cold ones are faster, and they're going to get a rear charge on those Chaos Knights for faux free. Marauder Horsemen falling back. Trying to get away from here, and there is a big Final Transmutation onto the Salon and onto everything else. It is overcasted as well, so it hits those Saurus, it hits the Salon, it hits the Skinks. That is a really good cast to try and keep Tzeentch in this game. But will it even be enough? Chaos Knights in the distance, falling to Feral Cold Ones. Marauder Horsemen in the near term, falling to Saurus Warriors. And these are the wounded Saurus Warriors. They weren't even the healthy ones. Yeah, Tzeentch just surrenders at that point. Damn. GG as the Lizardmen slowly outlast Tzeentch. 2,200 value for the final Transcaster. Only 880 with the Mutilith Vortex Beast. I still maintain that Mutilith Vortex Beast would not be as nearly as OP as it is if there wasn't any healing. Like, if on the Warriors of Chaos roster, it couldn't get Fleshy Abundance or anything like that, it can get whittled down. Skirmish Cav did well. Chaos Knights overall did okay. They just had a hard time clearing out things. Quaddles were good and annoying terror pieces. They were where they needed to be. Saurus did okay. Feral Cold Ones did fine. But those 400 gold Skink Skirmishers, one of them got 1,100 gold from shooting at the Mutilith Vortex Beast all game. The Jav Skinks did alright. GG. GG. I have a message from who and why. Alright. Apparently people are mad at us. I know I have to update the score. Hold on. Apparently people are mad at us about Last Mohican, so I guess I'll skip ahead to that one. ODM gets a win there, tying it back up to 5-5. There we go. Had something in my throat. It was annoying me. With ODM's The Last Mohican versus NC's World Beater, Vampire Counts, and Dark Elves. For the Vampire Counts of ODM, we have Manfred von Karstein, Spirit Leech, and Fate of Buna. Skeleton Warriors, Graveguard with great weapons, some Vargeists, a Necromancer with his Strokey Stroke Rod, and then some Cryptors, the Dire Pack, and that is about it. On the other side, for the Dark Elves, we have a front line of Blackheart Corsairs and Bleak Swords. We have some Witch Elves for Rampage, 4 Blackheart Corsair handbows, Malekith on his dragon, not something you see very often anymore, including his Supreme Spell Shield. Holy crap. Okay, we take those. And then a Master with Guardian. This is a spicy little Dark Elf build. He already gets a Spirit Leech, though with 20% spell resistance from just, his Supreme Spell Shield. That Spirit Leech is not going to do as much as you might expect. Dark Elves slowly moving up. Don't want to overextend. So they're going to want to separate out these Witch Elves from the Blackheart Corsair handbows, because, yeah. If they stay that close together, then Manfred could get a 2-for-1 breath attack. That would be pretty brutal. Both sides lining up, setting each other in their sights, but trying to figure out the best engagement here. The Dark Elves do have a better front line, besides the Graveguard with great weapons, but I think maybe Witch Elves supported with Blackheart Corsairs could still take the Graveguard with great weapons, possibly. That one's a little risky, but the Bleak Sword should cut through the zombies and skeletons easily enough. Most of the advantage of the Vampire Counts comes in their Vargeists, and then most of the advantage for the Dark Elves comes in there for Blackheart Corsair handbows. So we'll see what can win, the monstrous infantry superiority or the range superiority. The single entities are kind of a wash. Malekith and Manfred are roughly equal as far as, like, usefulness goes, and then the Master and the Necromancer, I'd say, are equal in different ways, because Master is way less supportive than the Necromancer. Malekith and Manfred just going to take a fight. Malekith's more than happy to do this. He is a better melee combatant, while Manfred's a better caster. So he's ready for that melee. He pops Stand Your Ground for all the units below him, too, giving the Witch Elves a bit of a buff. I thought... Oh, it didn't hit the Witch Elves. It just hit these Blackheart Corsairs. Weird. Cryptors from Last Mohican pile their way through the front line and just ignore everything, getting onto those Blackheart Corsair handbows. These other handbows are still firing at the Graveguard, which is it's a decent target, but I would rather prefer that their ammo goes towards all these monstrous things in the distance. Witch Elves also have to get involved soon. Manfred does terror out off these Blackheart Corsair handbows and the Witch Elves and another Blackheart Corsair handbow, just as murderous prowess is popped for the Dark Elves, giving them better leadership and better stats. But it is too late as some of their stuff's already routing. The Witch Elves are even just going to get pursued by the Dire Pack all the way to the grave. Manfred popped his first Soul Stealer for a bit of healing and damage onto Vargeists and Cryptors. But those Cryptors and Vargeists are just rolling through this back line, going down the line, shutting down everything they can. Witch Elves are rampaging them, though, so they can't retreat right now. Malekith could get a juicy breath attack down. Looks like that is what he is going to do. No, Manfred does it. Manfred, my god, you need those Vargeists, my man. No breath attack from Malekith, as he does just land into the Vargeists and Cryptors. Vargeists are almost dead. Cryptors are about half HP and still regenerating up. For the front lines, the Bleak Swords are holding about as well as we thought they would, winning versus everything besides Graveguard, and even the Graveguard over here are not having a good time. So the Dark Elves are doing what we predicted on that front. Malekith's still trying to punish these monstrous infantry there in this blob with his Witch Elves, trying to get them to rampage once again. The Cryptor is fighting the Master right now. He does have anti-large and armor piercing. He'll do okay versus those guys. Manfred, Vargeist, and a zombie summon should take out the Blackheart Corsairs, but Manfred's rampage. Can Malekith take advantage of this? While you rampage, you can't cast Invocation of Heck, you can't back off of the fight, you can't do anything. So Malekith is here trying to get any damage he can onto Manfred von Karstein, that big target. There's a Soul Stealer to get a little bit more damage as Vargeist are recommitting to the fight to try and stop Malekith from killing Manfred. They're trying to stop him as Witch Elves continue to offer support. They'll continue to rampage things, especially this full health Vargeist that just rejoined the fight. They'll probably rampage soon if the Witch Elves get any of that poison onto them. Master is rejoining the fight, but the Dark Elves have a problem. A lot of their infantry is off in the distance. It looks like they routed and they're now starting to rally, but they're very far away from the main fight. And Malekith, while he gets a great fight onto Manfred, if Manfred can escape from here, I could see the Vampire Counts dragging this game back, because he can heal up a ton. And the Dark Elves are maybe in a compromised position fighting this many Vampire Counts in the same space, especially the Graveguard with great weapons. Manfred's still rampaging, though, because he's fallen to that tier 2 of Rampage. His HP dropped enough that the Witch Elves could rampage him again. They're a very, very useful tool in this matchup against the Undead, especially Undead like Vampire Counts that just want to like cycle charge as much as possible and get healing off. Manfred does get an Overcast Invocation Heck, and he manages not to hurt himself with the Overcast. He gets away, he gets into the sky. That is the only hope for Last Mohican and the Vampire Counts in this game. Blackheart Corsairs have rallied, getting a bit of poke damage down here and there. We still have 2 Crypt Horrors. Yes, 2 Crypt Horrors and a Vargeist in the central fight. The Master is taking a lot of damage. The 2 Graveguard are trying to hold on for now, and the Necromancer is offering some healing. He is on his Unholy Lodestone, yes? No, he's not. He only has his Master of the Dead passive, so he's trying to heal up this wounded Graveguard, but there's still a full health Graveguard that is chilling. Dark Elves piling in with Malekith. Malekith still has all 3 of his breath attacks. He needs to use those. Malekith, get in the sky and breath attack that full health Graveguard. Please. Please! Please! Malekith is pretty poor. He's a better melee combatant than Manfred, is all I was trying to say. 46-46 against 55-48, and then he has a higher weapon strength. Malekith getting harassed by the Cryptors. His Master is getting pushed away, and all these Dark Elf infantry are continuing to grind. Zombies chasing around the Blackheart Corsair handbows as best they can, and Manfred casts another Invocation of the Heck to keep himself nice and healthy, getting that topped off. If Malekith has any Soul Stealers, he'd probably throw it down right now, and yes, he does, right into everything besides 1 Vargeist and Manfred, but honestly, that's a fine trade. Manfred, however, gets a breath attack, and I'm scared that the breath attack usage difference between the 2 players is going to decide this game, as Malekith still has all 3 of his, and Manfred has used all of his, and he has gotten really good breath attacks off. Balance power is back to about even. Master continues to fight as these Cryptors are nearing their heal cap, but the Dark Elves are in mass exodus as a breath attack and then a rear charge from Manfred took care of all of them. 2 Dragon Healing Lords called Meh something is not helping me. Manfred, Malekith, all this shit. Vargeist get rid of the Blackheart Corsairs. Manfred does Overcast, another Invocation to Heck, trying to heal up all these guys, including the Cryptors. Malekith is now stuck on the ground. He's not going to be able to get those breath attacks off anytime soon. Manfred chases after the Master. Balance of power is tipping away from the Dark Elves. I think that could be it. I don't see how the Dark Elves deal with Manfred and a full health Graveguard at this point, though I guess their heal cap is approaching. Vargeist are still charging around doing fine. I'll play it at ×2 speed as we are getting into a bit of a slow grind as this monster keeps fighting all these guys, but Vampire Counts are just cleaning up the map. Probably going to start Spirit Leeching Malekith again instead of using their Winds of Magic on healing. Wow, they actually do just keep using their Winds of Magic on healing. All right. Stand Your Ground is popped for him. He maybe has 1 Soul Stealer left in the tank that he could throw in this blob, but it is too little. It is too late. And that's GG. He got away and was able to heal a bunch. Sure, but I do think the breath attacks was a bigger problem. Manfred, 1400 value. Necromancer did okay. Vargeist did well. Graveguard overall did pretty well. Cryptors did amazing. And then the Skeletons and Zombies got wrecked by the Dark Elf front line. On the other side, World Beater, 3,900 on Malekith without any breath attacks. So he already almost hard carried this game. The Master honestly did pretty well. I liked that little tech piece. It was cool. It was neat. Black Ark Corsair Handbows did great. Witch Elves did great. Black Ark Corsairs did great. And Bleak Swords did just fine. GG. Sad Panda on the build. I don't think it was the build's fault. There might be optimizations, sure, but I don't think it was like the build's fault. All right. We got Strat Game versus Segos. I got to update the score. It's another point for ODM. They retake their lead after NC held on to it for a bit. We kept it warm for them. Greenskins versus Beastmen. And we're getting the Night Goblin War Boss. I recently took the Night Goblin War Boss versus Wood Elves because I didn't want to get Lord Sniped. Now, he can still get Lord Sniped, but I meant my caster would be a separate entity. I'm scared about the Night Goblin War Boss versus Beastmen, because if they take Traderkin, then they could probably 2-for-1 hit you and the lady. Alright, for the builds, Greenskins have 4 Squig Herds. Looks like 2 Stone Trolls? No, the Swamp Thing's River Troll ROR and then a Stone Troll. Frontline of Goblins, we have a Night Goblin War Boss with his Fermented Fungi, Melee Defense debuff, and Rampage. Spite of the Bad Moon buff, and then Tormentor Sword net and debuff. River Troll Hag with Spirit Leech and Fate of Buna. Then we have 4 Orc Boar Boy Biggins, including the Broken Tusk Mobs, 2 Orc Horror Boys, and a Rusty Arrows Archers. Why'd you take the Night Goblin last not to get sniped? I meant, like, I didn't take Wurzhag or Azhag. That was my point. Like, so to snipe me, the Wood Elves would have to take out the River Troll Hag and the Night Goblin War Boss. Not just, okay, we sniped Wurzhag, we got his Lord and Caster. That was the point. Not like the Night Goblin War Boss can't get killed on his own. Now, aside for the Beastmen, we have a Bestigor herd. Why? Oh, God. We have 2 of them. Ungor Spearman herds. Then we have some Ungor Raiders, 3 of them. Butchers of Calgon Guard for some terror and regen. Centaurs to chase down the Greenskins and generally just perform well in melee combat. Flock of Doom and Doom and Darkness from Malagor, Dark Omen, and Groghoofs of Wolfsrung. Night Goblin War Boss is on foot, wandering around, not on his squig. And the battle has started as some Stone Trolls charge forward with Goblins to wreck some Ungor Spearman herds. They are very, very low-tier infantry, so the Stone Trolls really aren't worried about how much damage they'll take. Meanwhile, the Broken Tusk Mob are a little worried how much damage they're taking from a mix of Archer and Throwing Axe Fire. One Ungor Raider is already peeled off by the Rusty Arrows, and here comes the first big fight. Big Doom and Darkness, abusing the low leadership of the Greenskins, will get rid of the Swamp Things. It looks like 2 leadership for them, but a Fate of Buna counteracting it, hitting the Bestigor herd. Wow, really want to take them out from the Greenskins, which I guess it's an expensive unit, but I feel like with Squigs and stuff, you can already deal with the armor of them. No big deal. Broken Tusk Mob starting to fall back now. Orc Arboy still trying to get shots out, and Orc Boarboy Biggins just chasing Centaurs off, keeping them away from the Archers as of yet. Another Flock of Doom is landed from Malagor, getting big damage out. The first was here from the Greenskins, trying to keep the Broken Tusk Mob in the fight for now. Same with the River Troll Hag. Meanwhile, we have some Stone Trolls and Goblins who won their fight, and they're fighting the Butchers of Calgon Guard. The flag's way over here. I didn't think they were over here. That's huge for the Greenskins. If they get a Fermented Fungi, maybe they already used it. Maybe that's how the Butchers got into this bad situation. But the Butchers are stuck fighting Stone Trolls, Goblins, and the enemy Lord while being debuffed. They are not enjoying that at all, and they're taking so much damage. The Swamp Things were eventually routed, but they'll rally on the backfield and come back. Greenskins are up on the bounce power for now. Centaurs not having a good time fighting these Orc Boarboy Biggins because of that heavy armor that they bring to the fight. And Bestigors have broken through. Ungor Spearman herds will also get through soon, and the Ungor Raiders Archers still firing in, which is very annoying. A Fermented Fungi onto the Ungor Raiders is a bit of a question mark for me. It doesn't cause them to rampage immediately. It causes them to rampage if they have the, debuff from taking enough damage, but they haven't taken any damage, so they're going to be fine. So unfortunately, I think that was a wasted spell, but stuff happens. Orc Boarboy Bacon's going to run around, go fight some Centaurs. Probably need to just ignore Malagor. He is infantry size. They don't get their bonus versus large versus him. And the Greenskins are sweeping up this backfield. Centaur is going to be running off the map soon. And a lot of the bounce power for the Beastmen is in these archers, which are now getting attacked by stone trolls and goblins and the like. So I think the bounce power is actually getting a lot better for the Greenskins soon. Centaur is mostly getting finished off. Groghoof's Wolf's Run have managed to evade death thus far. Of the 4 Orc Boarboy Biggins, 2 of them are nearly dead, but 2 are still healthy considering the state of the game. And the Beastmen are just using what they can of their archers before they get shut down. Burtonia. They certainly aren't the worst of Gores. I would say Breastigores are better than Gore Herds, but not by much. Rear charge in from the Swamp Things plus Orc Boarboy Biggins while they're wad might just terror out the Bestigores outright because the Swamp Things do cause terror. These guys are not ITP. As they're going to get going here soon. Doom and Darkness routes off some Orc Boarboy Biggins, but the Greenskins continue to advance on the Bounds of Power. Butcher's Skeleton Guard find their way onto the Rusty Errors. Free and clear. We'll see how that goes for them, but it looks like Orc Boarboy Biggins have their sights set on those guys. As Stone Trolls and Goblins continue to try and mop up this backfield. There's a lot more Ungor Spears than I had expected back here. We'll see if they can even get anything done. Maybe if Malagor offers some support, he does have that -4 leadership for enemies, and he has +12 for friends, but he didn't bring it this time, actually. So I guess he couldn't offer that much of support. Flock of Doom onto these 2 that are charging in as Malagor debuffs them a little bit. -4 leadership, Butcher's Skeleton Guard trying to fight it out. Swamp Things are immune to terror since they cause terror, but the Boarboy Biggins could get peeled out, and there's Bestigores here. Can the Beastmen really close this pocket? They're going to rout the Swamp Trolls. Oh, okay. All right, they break them off. Beastmen maintaining a bit of power in the center, but this backfield fell apart. Their chaff just can't hold. Stone Trolls and the 2 single entities of the Greenskins are chilling. They're doing fine. The rest of the Greenskins trying to figure their stuff out as Groghoofs are going to run down to Rusty Errors. But a brutal Fate of Bunon with the Groghoofs is about to land. And that is a lot of damage on a very important unit in this late game for the Beastmen. That is a rough spell for them to be taking right now. I mean, good play from Strat. It's not like they could avoid it or anything, but that was good. Good Fate of Bunon. Almost deletes the entire Groghoofs. And the bounce power just gets worse for the Beastmen. More stuff is routing. We have 1 archer trying to fire, trying to save the game. Rather healthy Stone Troll regenerating up as it chases around Ungor Raiders. And Squig Herds are infinitely rampaging after some guys. Swamp Things are going to get walked off the map by Malagor. But I don't know how much that really matters. Okay. Ungor Raiders still trying to protect themselves. I was just catching up on chat. That was the brief silence. And Malagor will walk off the Swamp Things. I just don't know what it's going to achieve. I mean, do we really think that 2 half-health Ungor Spearman Herd, an Ungor Raider with no ammo, and Malagor can beat all that's left? I am not as convinced. I'm going to ×3 speed as both sides are going to do a little bit of chasing off what they can and reconcentrating what they can. But here comes the end game. Flock of Doom plus some archers onto the Orc Boarboy Biggins and the debuff from Malagor landing on them. They might get routing. And they do indeed. But there's a full health Stone Troll coming back. Army Loss is getting nearer and nearer, and as a Spirit Leech hits Malagor, I think that might trigger it. Say goodbye to the Ungor Spearman Herd as pigs run them over. And they go away. You do have some Raiders back shooting at Squigs, but Army Losses does appear to be triggering. As these Ungor Raiders, once they rout, the next thing will rout, and the next thing will rout, and then it'll be Army Losses. So there they go. GG. Where's my game? Ronan can't wait any longer. Dude, I don't know. I'm just going in the order of these things. God damn it. For Strat, His Goblin War Boss, I assume, provided support. Didn't get a lot of value. Stone Trolls did fine. River Troll Hag did well. Orc Boarboy Biggins overall did pretty well here. Orc Armor Boys did okay. GG. Button Eyes Mark, what'd you miss? Everything. Grog Hooves did well. The other Centaurs did not. Bestigor Herds, not great value. Ungor Raiders did overall well. Ungor Sprinter Herds struggled. Malgor did alright. GG. Alfredino, then Hard Russ, and Loopy would be the last game. Alright, we're closing in on the end. It is 6-6 out of 15 points. So the first to 8 wins it, right? We have Alfredino on the Vampire Coast versus Cool Umbrella on the Tomb Kings. 6-6. Whoever wins this goes to match point. We've kept it pretty tight. Alrighty. For the forces of ODM and the Vampire Coast, we do have 2 Scurvy Dogs, a front line of deckhand mobs with polearms and regular, bombers backed up by handguns, and then we have a bunch of animated hulks, more handguns, and the Lampeter's Revenge with Count Noctilus on foot with his summon and Invocation of Nahag. On the other side, for Cool Umbrella and the Tomb Kings, we do have Cetro the Imperishable on horseback with his explosion and then 2 cheap spells to heal up his whole army. We have some melee Ushapti, a skeleton warrior, and skeleton spear front line. 5 skeleton archers, which is not common, but versus Vampire Coast, I can definitely see why you would do that, including the Blessed Legion of Flach, their armor sundering. Some skeleton horsemen, carrion for a bit of harassment, the Kepler Guard, Eyes of the Desert Sporkle Stalkers, and that is it. So a very strange but understandable Tomb Kings build. Like, I get what he's going for, it's just not, you know, typical, which is cool. It's cool, it's cool. Archer's going to fire onto the front line of the coast, start getting that damage out. I'm a little concerned what kills the Lampeter's Revenge. That feels a bit sus. I guess you have the Eyes of the Desert. But still. Handgun mob's going to have a tough time. They really don't have anything great to shoot at. The entire front line of the Tomb Kings is silver shielded and infantry, which handguns aren't amazing versus infantry. They're okay, but they're not amazing. Halberds taking a lot of damage as they walk in, and the bombers are trying to get in range. The bombers will get their first volley off onto the skeleton warriors, and it never ceases to entertain me how much damage they do against lightly armored chaff infantry. Animated Hulks charging in. Skeleton Horsemen trying to buffer up the front line a little bit. They stop these ones dead, but the other ones almost get all the way through the front line on the charge, and other Skeleton Horsemen have to bail them out just a little bit here. Tomb Kings already lose a unit on the top side, and will rely on melee Ushapti to come get them out of here. Sporkle Stalkers do immediately target the Lampeter's Revenge. Good target priority from them. I'm going to try and harass those guys. And Noctilus is already using one of his summons. The Overcast hurts him a little bit. The pistol is out. Melee Ushapti should immediately jump onto it and stop it from doing anything, as the second summon from Noctilus also lands on top of the Skeleton Archers and Eyes of the Desert. Central fight, everybody's taking damage. The dogs are taking damage. All the chaff is taking damage. This animated Hulk's almost dead. The central fight, just everybody lost everything there. One of our handgun mobs is dead. Carrion are in the backfield trying to stop those handguns for a bit, but they're mostly just going to get mulched. They really don't do that much damage. They're a mostly defensive unit. But they distracted the handguns for a little bit. Melee Ushapti are now fighting Lampeter's Revenge while trying to keep that summon locked down. The Sporkle Stalkers are kiting away. Archers are just ignoring the skeleton mob, hoping it eventually goes bye-bye. Archers start firing into the handguns. Good stuff, though the handguns are now going to shoot at these melee Ushapti and take care of them. But so far, all 5 archers are still well online and shooting, which is a big buff for the Tomb Kings. Oh, fuck! What happened back here? Cetra, my boy, what happened to you? He clearly overextended somewhere, getting himself into a fight with Noctilus and getting shot by all these handguns. He starts to run away now, but that is a huge loss for the Tomb Kings. Cetra fighting... Cetra's anti-large, and he ended up getting in a fight with an anti-large foot character, and then since he's on a horse, he was in front of the handgun, so, I mean, Noctilus didn't obstruct their view. So that was just a nasty, nasty moment. And the Tomb Kings are going to lose their Lord. They're going to lose their caster. And that's awful. Oh, no. Oh, no. Sparkle Stalker's taking a lot of damage from Noctilus and these handgun mobs and the pistol mobs. So this is quickly all of a sudden going in the favor of the Vampire Coast. The Vampire Coast front line is nearly non-existent. Noctilus and his summons are holding it down for now, but they've shut down the two big targets. Cetra and the Sparkle Stalkers are dead. With that, the Lamper's Revenge could honestly carry the rest of this game because there's just nothing left that can kill them. Cetra manages to rally at 80 HP in the backfield. Casting a spell does give him a little bit of healing, so the Tomb Kings haven't started crumbling off the map just yet. But oh boy, is it close. Kipperguard getting hit with a Wraith Storm. And Bombers hitting the Blessed Legion of Flach, who have used all their ammunition, so now they're just an overrated melee unit. You missed the most fun part of the game. A lot of shit's going on. I can't be everywhere at once. You damn bastards. Ushabti charging into the handguns. We still have 2 healthy handguns, and the Ushabti will fade away in 6 seconds. After that, I think that handgun mob will probably rally. And from there, the Tomb Kings really have nothing left. The Blessed Legion of Flech is their healthiest unit, but it has no ammo. Army lost hits, taking out Cetra and the rest of the team. GG. For Alfredino, the handgun mobs got good value, I assume, from shooting Cetra and then the Sparkle Stalkers. Noctilus didn't get a ton, but his summons were very annoying. Lamper's Revenge did fine. Animated Hulks did fine. Dogs were trying. They were trying their best. They're running around. They're doing things. The other side, Cetra, 0 value. Ow. Ow. Sparkle Stalkers didn't get a ton done, unfortunately. Melee Ushabti did not get a lot of value either. It was mostly the Archer show as they got a lot of kills. Carrion also got shut down very, very quickly. And that is about that. GG. ODM is up 1 game out of the next 2 games. If they win 1, they win the whole thing. Hardest Warrior versus John FB. Kislev versus Grand Cathay, a top of the table battle. Cetra the Perishable. Cetra the 6-day shelf life. It's true.
You know the horrors of the deep.
For Kislev and Hardest Warrior, we have Little Grom, Akshina Ambushers. Looks like just 5 of them. Wow. 5 Akshina Ambushers, none of which are the Wolf Hearts. 4 Things in the Woods. Shut up! Shut up! I hate that even in replays, Mother Ostankia just gives her fucking speech every single time. 3 Kosovo Dervishes, a Patriarch with both of his heals. On the side of John FB and Grand Cathay, if you want the final game to be the decider of fates, you are rooting for Grand Cathay for the first time in your life. We have 2 Crowmen, the ROR Righteous Lances of Wei Jin. Oh, Longbow Riders. A Celestial Dragon Crossbow, 2 Celestial Dragon Crossbows, 4 Jade Warriors, a Fire Rain Rocket, some Peasant Long Spearmen, and then 2 Jade Lancers. Miao Ying with, I don't know what spells because he transformed into a dragon. But that was a nasty start. Flock of Doom, Overcast, plus the Spirit Bear from Mother Ostankia, nearly taking out an entire Celestial Dragon Crossbowman. 900 value on her in the first minute of the game. Fire and Rocket cannot see any of the Auction Ambushers. And Little Grom can definitely see the Fire and Rocket. I think that's the first time I've heard the Lord give a speech in multiplayer. Dude, Mother Ostankia gives a speech literally every fucking game. Every game. I hate it. Fire and Rocket's still firing in. He finally spotted some Auction Ambushers, so he's now going to start shooting at them, but the Fire and Rocket does miss everything. Were they Celestial Dragon Crossbows? Yeah, they're Celestial Dragon Crossbows. Yeah. Yeah, they are. They're right there. Miao Ying's trying to harass a little bit, but man, there is a lot of archers ready for her. And Little Grom is just happy as a clam, man. He's shooting away. He's killed one of the fire and rockets already. The fire and rockets are not doing a lot of damage to these auction ambushers. Little Grom. Little Grom. Fire and rockets down to 2 models. And Kislev is more than happy with how this early game is going. Which is why John's trying to change what's going on. He's trying to use his Onyx Chrome. He's trying to use Miao Ying to get something done. It's just not really working out. Little Grom is completely uncontested shooting at this fire and rocket. Because the fire and rocket, even if it shoots back at Little Grom, it's going to do 0 damage. Miao Ying tries to get Mother of Stankia, ends up at half HP instead for her troubles, and never manages to land a hit because the dragon animations of the Grand Cathay Lords are not well designed at all. Fire and rocket misses every fucking hit onto this auction ambusher. It's been firing so much, but it's just missed way too many times. You hope Slay Lords are not a thing because they're awful to see in a match? Yeah, dude. Mother of Stankia sucks. Like, she's just a very poorly designed character. I hate her so much. Shit's OP. Fire and rocket still at 2 models for now, though I imagine the next shot will take one out, just based on the timing of things. Alright, let's see if I was right. Ah, no, it didn't take out another rocket. Miao Ying is overcasting a regrowth on herself, so we can finally see what she has. She has Talons of Night, and she has regrowth. So she's trying to heal after all the damage she's taken. Jade Warriors are now starting to move forward, though they are going to get picked off by Mother of Stankia and the things in the woods. They don't have their Harmony buff because there's no ranged units nearby, and Little Grom takes out another Fire and Rocket model. They're down to just 1. Crowmen are in the backfield, wondering what to do with their time and with their lives. And Little Grom, is that the death punch? It is. The Fire and Rocket is no longer a real unit. All 4 of their models are gone. Onyx Crowmen take a big shot from the Auction Ambushers on their way in. Righteous Lances of Wei Jin also probably going to get pin-cushioned here a little bit. First of all, he misses as they charge down on the things in the woods. That's pretty good. Oh, the Withering lowers their armor for the Auction Ambushers, who are no longer armor-piercing. Things in the Woods going to hold back the Jade Lancers for now, but 3 Auction Ambushers all focus on the Righteous Lances. This could be a lot of damage, and oh, it is! Oh my goodness! They're doomed! Flock of Doom hits all these units at the same time. Maybe Miao Ying can give an overcasted regrowth to them. Maybe, possibly, but it doesn't look possible as another volley is just going to take them down. Say goodbye to the Righteous Lances of Wei Jin. One of the Onyx Crowmen is also gone. A lot of the Jade Warriors have taken a lot of damage, and very quickly this is getting out of hand on the side of Kislev here. They're unstoppable. For Cathay, they have 2 Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen. Both have a good number of models, and they have Miao Ying, who can heal herself up. But that's really about it. Everything else has just been gutted at this point. Little Grom's still firing away. He has 8 shots left. He's pin cushioning a couple Jade Lances. How do you pin cushion with cannonballs, human boy? Figure it out. I don't know. I'm running out of things to say. Kislev's just kiting the shit out of him. Grand Cathay are slowly walking forward and getting kited. What do you want me to say? Loving his casting when he suddenly screams, oh, his jumps scares me. Jesus. Sorry, Samuel C. Big Talons of Night does hit the Auction Ambushers, but at this point, I think the writing is on the wall. There's really nothing left here. Miao Ying's heal cap is within sight. Auction Ambushers are overall still very healthy. Little Grom's also just chilling. And some things in the woods found their way onto the Celestial Dragon crossbows. It is all over but the crying for Grand Cathay here. And Balance of Power is going to tip into army losses any second now. And that'll be GG. I missed a slap fight between Toxic and Toxic. Dang. It wasn't much of a slap fight. It was more of a slow... We were spectating a slow bleeding death. Mother of Stankia got a lot of value. Little Grom did fine. Auction Ambushers did well. Things in the Woods did well. And that's that. John FB and Cathay. It was a bold, it was an ambitious Cathay build. But it did not work out. Celestial Dragon Crossbows didn't really get anything done. Fire and Rocket got some decent value, but, like, didn't feel like it. Everything else just shut down. So with that, ODM does win. But we'll see by how much. Did it come down to the 2v2 extra point. Wait. Yes, they win, because then if we get one, we would get 7 to 8. Okay, I was just making sure I had the math right on that. This is the final game. We'll see if Trader GG and ODM Loopy can make it at least a 1-point contest. Which then, that would be kind of cool, because then 2v2 is just kind of a tiebreaker, but each team won the same number of games. That'd be kind of fun. If not, if ODM wants to stamp their authority on this clan war once and for all, they'll just want to win this one. Trader. Trader. Hey, Trader. You know this wasn't a quick battle, right? You know this was a clan war? Trader? Why do you have the Dreadquake Mortar? Why? Why do you have that? What is wrong with you? Why do we have this? Why do we have the Demon's Tongue Dreadquake Mortar? That's a terrible thing. That is a terrible, terrible thing. And we took it in an important game? Why would we do that? Oh my, that's, okay. I'm beyond irate. I guess it's okay that this game doesn't matter, as the Demon's Tongue is getting shot. It costs so much money. That's like a Shredder of Lustria level of money. Anyway, we have Astrogoth, 2 Bull Centaur renders, one of which is the Hashit guys, the Demon's Tongue ROR, Dreadquake Mortar mount, and then 4 Hobgoblin Wolf Riders, including the ROR. For the Dark Elves, we have 4 Shades with their armor-piercing shots, Marathi with Doombolt, Soul Stealer, and Pit of Shades. We have Dread Spears, Witch Elves, 2 Bolt Throwers, and some Dark Riders. Dreadquake Mortar still trying to get any of its value out. It has gotten 500 value for itself, as the Soul Stealer is going to hit this area. Bolt Throwers are still hitting the Dreadquake Mortar, and it's dying. It's dying a lot. Build is good, strat overpowered. Dude, the Demon's Tongue sucks! Not the Demon's Tongue, but like the Dreadquake Mortar mount for it sucks so bad. So bad. Hobgoblin Wolf Riders getting caught up in Witch Elves and Dark Riders. They're going to get pushed off pretty soon. Hazel sneezed behind me, and that was pretty cute. But the Shades have almost killed this thing. And they've gotten like 800 value doing it per shade. Dreadquake can be good, but you need stuff to protect it. Build's not good. No, the Dreadquake Mortar is not good. The Dreadquake Mortar is not good. It's bad. It's terrible. I can't express to you this enough. How little damage it does to units, how often it misses, and how expensive it is, and how squishy it is. It's awful. It's awful. It's an awful unit. It's fucking terrible. Stop taking this thing. Ah, I hate it. I've literally never seen a Dreadquake win. Never. The build's fine. It could have won. Like, maybe in theory, but I have literally never seen a Dreadquake win. Never. Since the Chaos Dwarfs were released, I have not seen a Dreadquake Mortar win. Alright, Marathi gets caught down in some Bull Centaur renders with Grey Opens. That was almost a throw, but Soul Stealer plus some Dread Spear support is going to get her out of it. Balance of power is dangerously far in the favor of the Dark Elves, and I am afraid I have to agree. Everything for the Chaos Dwarves is routing and dead besides Astrogoth and the Hashit's Dark Ravagers. What up, Chikello? Dreadquake is the best unit in the game. It's literally impossible for it to lose. Well, it's losing. Oh boy, it's losing real bad. Dark Elves have about cleaned this one up. I'm going to ×2 speed it because it's all over but the crying for this one, as the Dark Elves are just going to shoot at these guys on the way in. Bolt Throwers punishing Hash's Dark Ravagers. Shades are now going to start shooting at them. Astrogoth is chasing off some other Shades, so he's just doing that for a little bit. Soul Stealer's even going to hit these guys. Healing up Marathi and damaging one of the last 2 units you have might be enough to trigger army losses here. There it is, and that is GG. Pigman, you took it in your first newbie tournament and won? You did not, because you were disqualified for that game because you forest camped and white line camped. That doesn't count. I could beat Mike Tyson in a boxing match with one hand behind my back if the other hand has a gun, but that's called cheating. All right. The Dreadquake Mortar got 1,000 value. And then got slapped. Strat and I clearly disagree. I hate that. I hate that. Despise it. Not for me. Not for old hummus. Shades did pretty well. Marathi did great. Witch Elves did fine. Bolt Throwers paid for themselves by shooting at trains. And that is GG. An earlier match against High Elves? Okay, well, I didn't see that one. Because how much is that train? I'm just curious how much the ROR train is. So what are we doing? Chaos Dwarves. And then we want this guy with a Dreadquake mount. He's 3,600! He's 3,600! That's a lot! That's a lot! Oh. Okay. I can't get behind it, but I do look forward to some replays of it winning. How about that? It's 3,600, Loopy. Pun intended, I am not on that train. I'm not on that train. I ain't punching my ticket. So that's the end score. The end score was 9-6, or if you want the 2v2 to only count as 1 point instead of 2 points, it's still 8-6. So, pretty close clan war overall. 1 or 2 game difference, because, you know, difference, you got to go both ways. So if ODM loses, they go down to 8, but NC would go up to 7. So you only need 2 games to really flip that one. So 2 game difference. Pretty darn close, and I'm proud of the boys. I'm proud of the lands. NC is a much younger clan than ODM, so I think we can hold our heads high after this defeat. Getting even close is pretty darn good. And ODM ends up in a lot of the tops of tournaments recently. So it's no surprise that they were a tough opponent. We had some good wins. Strat game beats Segos, which is nice. Segos in the top 3 right now of players currently. So that's good. Love to see it. GG's everyone. Thanks for the games and thanks for hanging around. If you're not subscribed, do that because that's all YouTube cares about. When I get subscribers, YouTube recommends me to more people. If I don't get subscribers, YouTube does not give a shit about us. They put us in a back corner, so you should do that. I am going to go now. Goodbye forever. I wish you a Merry Christmas.